This time we'll call to order the July 13, 2026 meeting of the City of Clearwater Downtown Development Board. This time move to item 2.1 on the agenda, approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for the DDB meeting of June 1st, 2026?
Say so moved. Say so moved.
Yeah, all right. Yes.
So moved.
Yes.
Thank you. Second. Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Move to item 3 on the agenda, citizens to be heard regarding items not on the agenda. Are there any citizens here today that desire to be heard on a downtown development board issue that is not on today's agenda? Hearing saying none, move to item 4.1 on the agenda. Adopt a tentative millage rate of 0.9700 mils for fiscal year 2026, 2027, and set public hearing dates or set hearing dates on the millage and budget for September 15th, 2026 and September 21, 2026 at 5:15 p.m.
Good afternoon, Ann Lopez, CRA Assistant Director. This item is to approve a tentative millage rate of 0.9700 mils for fiscal year 26-27 and to set the required public hearing of the millage and budget for Tuesday, September 15th, 2026 and Monday, September 21st, 2026, both starting at 5:15 p.m. As part of the Truth in Millage or TRIM process, the Downtown Development Board is required to adopt a tentative millage rate and establish public hearing dates before the budget can be finalized. This information must be submitted to Pinellas County Property Appraiser and Tax Collector's Office by July 28, 2026, and will appear in the TRIM notices that will be mailed to property owners in August. The recommended tentative millage rate of 0.9700 mils is the same rate as the current fiscal year. While this rate remains unchanged, it is a 0.65% above the rollback rate of 0.9637 mils. The rollback rate is the rate that would generate the same property tax revenue as last year, including revenue from new construction and other changes in the tax base. Because of the proposed rate exceeds the rollback rate, if adopted, the final resolution will reflect a 0.65% increase over the rollback rate. Finally, the board will discuss a proposed fiscal year 2026-2027 budget at the meeting held Monday, August 3rd, 2026, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Is anyone here from the public today that desires to be heard on agenda item 4.1? Hearing, seeing none, is there any board discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve item 4.1.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 4.2, approve the May 2026 financial statement for filing.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the board. Brian Olberg, CRA Coordinator for the record. The May 2026 financial statement is presented for filing. During the month of May, expenditures total $35,467. To date, total expenditures and transfers are approximately $894,991. The total balance across the budget is $1,177,705. Any remaining balances have been reallocated to the unallocated special events grants line to support future Downtown Development Board programming. Staff recommends approval of the May 2026 financial statement for filing. I'm happy to take any questions.
Is there anyone here from the public today that desires to be heard on agenda item 4.2? Hearing, seeing none, is there any board discussion? Not, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 4.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 4.3, approve a new logo and branding message for downtown Clearwater from R.B. Oppenheim Associates. Presentation of DDB Marketing and Public Relation Initiative, deliverables and implementation strategy.
Good afternoon, Jesus Nino, CRA Executive Director. I want to introduce to you Mr. Michael Wynn with RBOA. He'll give you the presentation. Floor is yours, sir.
Good afternoon. Hello, Chair and members of the board. Michael Wynn, President and CEO of RBOA, Digitally Driven Marketing. Thank you for your time today. I'm here to present the final downtown Clearwater logo, iconography, and messaging platform for official board approval. Today represents the culmination of months of research, stakeholder interviews, public input, and board feedback. Throughout this process, two strategic ideas constantly rose to the top. First, downtown Clearwater needs a destination brand, something people can connect with emotionally, not something that feels like another government program. Second, our messaging framework, Find It in Downtown Clearwater, captures the opportunity to reshape perceptions rather than telling people what downtown together as a cohesive system. The logo is truly one of the hallmarks of our design work and is the strength in its simplicity and modern design. Successful destination brands don't try to explain messaging. That's where Find It becomes so incredibly powerful. Every campaign, event, restaurant, concert, festival, park, or business becomes another opportunity to answer the question, come together. Throughout previous presentations, we've introduced Find It in Downtown Clearwater as the messaging framework because it reflects how people actually experience downtown. You don't come downtown for one thing, you come to your style. Find where the city meets the sound. Those become repeatable campaigns that can all reinforce the same destination brand while highlighting different experiences. We're saying, find your rhythm. Instead of Restaurant Week, we're saying, find your flavor. Instead of Art Walk, we're saying, find your inspiration. Every campaign builds and as we continue, you'll see that great food and incredible music continue to reinforce one of the overarching themes that truly came through in our interviews and every concert becomes another opportunity to find your rhythm. Every performance reinforces downtown as an active destination rather than an event venue. And weekly events, one of the biggest realize how much is going on downtown. That's exactly why Find It works. Instead of debating with perceptions, it acknowledges that there is always something new to discover. Every weekly calendar becomes another invitation. Not just here's what's happening, but find what's happening this week. That subtle shift changes A shirt that says "Find your rhythm" or "Find your flavor" creates personality. It becomes something that people identify with and talk about. That's why destination branding is so important, and philosophy extends into the physical environment as well. Rather than simply directing people where to go, signage can reinforce discovery throughout downtown. You'll notice throughout these examples that the Find It messaging becomes part of reinforces downtown's personality every step of the way. The messaging and the visual identity are intentionally working together. The Downtown Development Board recognition was really another part of one of our goals throughout the project, to be able to clearly distinguish between the destination and the organization. The public-facing brand is Downtown Clearwater. This allows the destination to build recognition while appropriately recognizing the DDB as the organization making that investment possible. And then, of course, the city's partnership. The same philosophy applies to the city. The city provides the infrastructure, services, and leadership that make downtown project since the very beginning. And the first is that Downtown Clearwater deserves a destination brand, one that people recognize because of the experiences they've had, not because it's attached to a government agency. Messaging platform that encourages curiosity, discovery, and repeat visits. The logo provides consistency, the icon system provides flexibility, and the Find It messaging provides the invitation. Together, they create a comprehensive and complete destination branding system that can grow for years to come, adapt to new experiences, support local business. Thank you, and any further comments or discussion?
This time, is there anyone here from the public that desires to speak to agenda item 4.3? Hearing, seeing none.
Like you said many times, they're versatile, easily integrated into any initiative, campaign, or event. But it also consistently showcases our brand while being versatile, which is very unique. And I think it's going to serve us for many years. So just want to be on record on that.
Okay. Board members, Councilmember Albritton.
You know, like I said to you before, we had talked about doing branding 5 years ago. You know, I was right around the time of COVID's just starting, and I mean, the restaurants, there wasn't a lot of activity going on downtown. That wasn't the time to do the branding. It is time now, because things are starting to pop.
Right.
We got a lot of activity downtown. I like this logo. I liked it from the beginning. I think it's good. Put the way you have it put with the different things you can do and find. They don't know what's down here. They've got to come down and they've got to look for it themselves. And so it's a good thing. I'm glad we're doing it.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Councilmember Menino.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Nguyen, thank you.
Thank you.
What an enjoyable process this has been. I commend you and your team, not just for your talent and skill, feedback, and then take action moving forward. And that's what has brought us to this process today. A beautiful logo that's classy with movement, that represents downtown, a tagline that's flexible and works. I think as we're a growing downtown district, we're going to grow with that tagline, and it's able to grow with us. I think that's awesome. Board is doing and what this program's doing is physically moving forward ourselves and investing in that future. A quick question for you, and you can help me understand the thinking. On the icons, I know we discussed a couple times about family-friendly. Thoughts from the team on how to identify those?
Well, I think the most important thing was we wanted a structure and an icon set that we were able to easily recognize, especially with the work that we did with Parks and Rec, along with some of the other departments. And we felt like the core of the icons that we had designed lent itself quite make it up to the level that the icons that we selected that they represented. But I think, again, as we said in our presentation, the icons give you a system to be able to accompany the logo design, right? Whereas what if we had put those 4 logos in the logo design? Then we're locked.
Yeah, right.
Right? So having an iconography that's designed in the style of the logo does
Look, and I'm like, well, food and drink, no. Entertainment, maybe. Shopping, probably. But I have a hard time trying to figure where that fits to illustrate what that event might be for a family. But I think you guys.
that we selected represent those interests. But like I said, we could extend that into those younger families when that opportunity arises.
Appreciate all the work. Thank you.
You bet, you bet.
Short and sweet, thank you very much for your time. Thank your team at RBOA for everything they've done. You know, it says a lot when this board hires a company and, you know, you present the first set of 2 different unique ways forward for, you know, icons and graphics. And then you come back and meet with us and you say, you know what, we went back and we listened and here's what we came for to make this decision better and stronger. So again, short.
I think it's going to do really good for us branding-wise, and I do see how this will be recognizable everywhere. So thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you for your feedback.
Even as a business, being a business owner in downtown Clearwater, I do not think it reflects our downtown here, in my opinion. But
For your feedback.
I'll weigh in just to say, you know, one of the things that I shared and you just shared was important. The others was the music that be involved. But that's not all we're already having success with. And you know, sometimes we get involved in issues wherever people think, well, Clearwater still needs to do a Hail Mary pass to save downtown. Folks, you know, we are already having success. Coachman Park has been a huge success.
Sure.
Music there and music in the Bay Care Sound it's already drawing and building on that success. And we have successful restaurants. Down are thriving. So building on that success, I think Councilmember Albritton said, that's important here. To tell the world, we don't want success, we're already having success. And we're just trying to build on that. And there's more coming with, I know, two of the buildings under construction on the bluff. They have some interesting ideas to bring even more great restaurants. Again, we're building on success we're already having, and thank you for your work in doing that.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve agenda item 4.3.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
That will move to item 4.4 on the agenda, approve a high-impact grant funding request 21 to 23, 2026, an amount not to exceed $30,000.
Good afternoon, Vicki Shire, CRA Division Manager. This item before you is a request from the MIA International for a high-impact funding request to produce the Mega Asian Food and Music Festival on the Water, scheduled for August 21st through August 23rd, 2026 at Coachman Park. The event is free, 3-day culture festival featuring Asian food vendors, live entertainment, cultural performances, art, craft food vendors, family activities, water lantern experiences, kite flying, and other interactive activities. Show you where he'd like to do that. The applicant estimates attendance of 20,000 visitors over the 3-day event and has past experience producing similar large-scale events throughout Tampa Bay region. The total estimated event budget is $129,070. The applicant projects approximately $40,000 in vendor fees and is contributing $49,000 towards event expenses. The applicant is requesting $80,070 in DDB funding. Staff reviewed the application and it meets the eligibility requirements for the high impact funding request. Although the applicant is requesting $80,070, staff is recommending the approval in the amount not to exceed $30,000. At this time, I'd like to invite the representatives from MIA International to come forward and answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and City Council. My name is Chris Lee with Mega Night Market. Started with the Mega Night Market a few years ago, and we started at a small community center in Lowman. Worked with the City of St. Pete to help them with the Honoring Asian American Pacific Islander Festival 2 years ago, and we also did that this year also. We partners with Hard Rock. We just did an event with them yesterday, which was a successful event. We did one also for Lunar New Year, which we had about 10,000 people show up. We also partners with the City of Tampa, which we'll be doing an event with them this weekend. The last event for Mid-Autumn Festival, Moon Festival of September 2025, we did over 30,000 people that came out to our event. So we're looking to partner with the downtown Clearwater to bring same amount of people down here and showcase our rich culture and great people that we have in our team. Thank you.
Is anyone here from the public today that desires to speak to this agenda item? Hearing, seeing none, is there any board discussion? Councilmember Albritton.
Well, I see that the amount is not to exceed 30, and you were asking for 80, so the 50, are you going to be able to raise that with sponsors, or are you going to have to cut some of the show back, the expenses of the show?
We looking to for some sponsors. We're looking into it. We've been marketing online. We have a big presence on the social media, but we're looking for additional funding to showcase and bring more artists here so we can bring tons of people down here to downtown Clearwater.
Good, that's what I was hoping you'd say.
Yes.
Instead of cutting it back and, not having such a great looking international show, I think it's possible to go ahead and get sponsor funding. So good luck with that, and look forward to seeing this.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Menino.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for coming in today. Best of luck this weekend down in Tampa with your event. Quick question for you regarding performers. It looks like you're spending about $26,000 on performers accommodations and travel. Who are you bringing in, and what seems like a large expense for?
Yes, we have a lot of different all-star YouTubers like Fookmap and big-time YouTubers that bring a lot of people to the events. Different food influencers, artists throughout the United States that we bring out, which costs a lot, but they bring a lot of people because they have a lot of following. So a lot of the people that we bring, or the artists or influencers, they have over 1 million up to 500,000 followers on Facebook, and throughout TikTok they have probably 2 million. So that brings a lot of people because people want to come see them. So that's why we spend that, and that brings a lot of people to our event. That's our formula that we use. Plus with the social media that we put together, we go hard on the Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and we work with all local partners, press. They release press on the news channels and other websites to showcase our night market. So we do a lot of great all-star singers that we have. We have line dance, dragon dance, Asian American Pacific Islander dances, Laotian dance. We had all kind of different dances that just showcase our culture and bring people down to any event that we go to. And we went to Long Island last month, so we tried it out there. So just to see if we could do the same turnout, and in the 2 days we did about 15,000 people that showed up in Long Island. Tons of people, and we only did one month to month and a half of marketing, and they did really well. And we also put the marketing into this Water Lantern Festival already here locally. We're running ads on it right now, and it's doing pretty well.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Councilmember Teixeira.
So I'm very pleased, actually, for several reasons. First, you have developed over the years a strong reputation for having successful community events. I'm also very pleased that this is a 3-day event. It opens up a lot of opportunities for people to discover downtown. Specifically, the fact that it's an Asian community event, showcasing the culture, I think is an important addition, because we have had a long-lasting relationship as a sister city with Nagano in Japan. So I think it would be a good way to at least showcase part of it, right? I know we have a lot of Latino events, and so I would love to include the Asian community as well. And the fact that it's 3 days also allows me to think that I'm willing to fund a little bit more, because 3 days is a big endeavor, it's a big ask.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much.
Okay. Anybody else? Councilman Robertson.
My only concern, I do like the whole plan. I do like the Asian festival. I think it's great. I do want to ask you about the food itself. How is it going to work? Who are you bringing in? How many? Who are the vendors?
Okay, so a lot of the Chiang Mai right down the street, they're also going to come out. We just
Okay.
left their restaurant a few minutes ago. So we're going to be bringing them, and other vendors here locally. We're going to try to bring them out to support downtown Clearwater. But it's just not Asian food. It's a diverse, so we have all kind of foods. It's international.
Mm-hmm.
So it's majority started as Asian, but we try to have diverse food in there. So we have all kind of food. But we're changing and making it more international. But we started as an Asian night market. So the food's really good. Home cooked food, just like back in Thailand or Laos or something like that. It's where you see it on YouTube. We're going to have it out here, and tons of people come out, especially going to a new area. Anywhere that we go that's in a new city, tons of people come out from all over. And we market just throughout the United States and in Florida and locally too.
Very well. Yeah. Yeah. My only concern was it's a 3-day event.
Yes.
Falling on a weekend,
Yeah.
and I really don't want to take business from downtown vendors
Right.
for the whole weekend, and I
Yeah.
One of the questions I had, if you did talk to Chiang Mai,
Yeah.
or if you already in communication with any other vendors, and if there is a way that you can include or work out with the local vendors to include them into your festivals would be
Okay, well,
benefit.
sir. Yes, sir.
So I actually sent out an email to all the vendor, or the restaurants locally here to come participate, actually free at our event. Only Chiang Mai has responded. Still waiting for a response from everybody else, because we do realize that it could impact the restaurants negatively, but it also could bring them business. If it's hot out, people may also decide, you know, I just want to go inside a restaurant. But we have invited them, just waiting a response back from them, and we are offering them free rent.
You might want to talk to him.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much.
No problem, thank you.
Board Member Tedelachi.
Yeah, thank you. I did receive the invite.
Okay.
I appreciate that. And we're considering it, but you'll probably hear back from us whether it's one way or another. My question to you, since being a 3-day event, what are your objective revenue-generating, main revenue-generating aspects here besides the alcohol sales? I mean, are you, I know that you offered to downtown vendors, restaurant owners or restaurants free admission or to be part of the event. The numbers that I see there, 1 to 94, how many vendors are you expecting to be there?
Well, we're projecting to have 40 to 50, but it just depends on how many people are going to sit up. So we're running multiple ads right now. So we should know more, you know, moving in the next couple of weeks. But we always get the, you know, late birds that come in late. But we put it on the, I believe it was Largo Clearwater Facebook page, and a lot of people are excited about the event. It'll be the first time ever having water lanterns here, which they call in Laos and Thai Loi Krathong, where you just put out the lanterns and write on there and make your wish. So that it's going to be a very, very good event because I don't think any other city can do it. City of Tampa can't do it because of the restrictions that they have there with the waterway, and City of Tampa can't do it also due to the same concerns. So here, we could contain it, put the nets up, and protect it, and it's all biodegradable, and we'll make sure that we clean everything up after we're finished.
And what are you going to charge for each vendor to be able to attend the?
It's going to be between $800 for the vendors, and then merchandise. What is that, sir?
Around 600.
600 for the merchandise. Yes.
Thank you. And are you planning on having donation boxes around the area as well, which is very common in big cities as well? If it's a free entry, you'll get a lot of people joining in and doing donations. These are really
Never
generates a
thought
lot
of
of.
No, we'll try it out. It'll be our first time.
It works. I mean, in Chicago, any event you go to, there are street events. They're open. Tens of thousands of people go there. Everyone drops in $5.
$1,
You know,
$5,
you have
okay.
20,000 people. That creates a lot of, you know, brings a lot of.
Okay.
See, we already made you money.
Yeah, it's great. Well, we will note that down and make sure that we do that.
That'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything? Okay. I do have a couple questions.
Yes.
One is, you said you've done the similar event on Long Island, is that?
Yes, Long Island, New York, yes.
But here locally, the only one you haven't done any like this locally, except you have one this weekend in Tampa at Curtis Hickson Park.
Yes, we have done them locally. We've done them with the city of St. Pete. In St. Pete last year with the mayor's office, I was the lead person that was in charge of that. So we've ran, it's called Happy Festival. If you look it up online, it means Honor Asian American Pacific Islanders. And I worked with the city council on, the city staff on that to make that happen for the city of St. Pete. We've done them at the England Brothers Park. We've done them at Wind Derby on Gandy, which was a very successful event. That whole parking lot, I don't know if you know the Derby lane there. Well, now the Wind Derby, we packed that entire parking lot from the front all the way to the Gandy. Our first event for Labor Day weekend. So we're looking to do the same thing here. Hopefully we have enough parking because we will bring a lot of people here just because it's a trend right now with the night markets. A lot of people are just traveling just to come to these events. And we have great entertainment, great singers. I mean, really good singers. You know, we had some opera last night. We had some regular music last night, Vietnamese at the Hard Rock, and it was incredible. So I think that'll showcase our rich culture here and bring a lot of people out and which I think we want a lot of people to come down to downtown Clearwater. I grew up in Clearwater Beach. My mother owned a store on South Beach when I was 8 years old. So it was, booming back in the day. So we would love to help make that happen again here in downtown Clearwater.
And we don't want to sound like we're shark tanking it, but we kind of are.
That's fine.
Because this is the taxpayers, the citizens'
Yes.
money that we're contributing. So, we just want to make sure that we're not funding a business idea and that you're at risk too on this, because it's not fair to the taxpayers for them to bear the ultimate risk of supporting the event. So these other events you talked about locally,
Yes.
were they 3-day events, or is this a new thing?
All the events are 3 days event. This,
Oh.
every event that we're known for 3-day events, just because we started as a small mini market at the Loman, by the Loman Center called the Lau Art Culture Center. And we started there, and we got so big, the city made us get all the permits, so we had to move the event. So we moved the event to downtown St. Pete, called the St. Pete Distillery. And the first event, we did 5,000 people. Then we're like, oh, well, we did good on that day. Why don't we start doing more days? So we just started 3 days from there, and we never went back. So it's always been a 3-day event. So we're known for 3-day events. Because a lot of people are working on Friday to come on Saturday. A lot of people come on Saturday, but they have people that want to go out on family day, Sunday fun day on Sunday, and they come out and enjoy our events. So we're known for the 3-day events, yes.
Yeah, I've heard great things about this Asian market you're talking about. that
Yes.
There's a go-to, I'm told. I've heard about that for years now, so, yeah.
Well, you'll get to see it
Yeah.
now, right in the city.
Okay, well, that's all I had. Anybody else got any questions, comments? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 4.4.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, we look forward to
Thank
your
you, Chair. Thank you. Thank you so much.
agenda item 4.5. Cleveland Street Mobile Vending Program Update.
Good afternoon again. Vicki Shire. Since the last update, staff has continued working with several city departments to refine the program and address their feedback. One of the changes we made is simplifying the program's name, Cleveland Street Mobile Vending Program. We're also working to align permitting process with the city's existing special event process where appropriate. The goal is to make the process easier for vendors while creating a more efficient review process for city staff. Right now, staff is working through the operational details, including vendor spacing and identifying potential locations along the fore and final block of Cleveland Street. This work will help us ensure the program operates safely and works well with nearby businesses and pedestrian traffic. We also launched a call for mobile vendors. To date, 24 vendors have expressed interest. Once the remaining operational details have been completed, staff will bring the program updates back to the board for finalization. At this time, we're anticipating about a September 1st, 2026 launch date. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Councilmember Teixeira.
I know you're still working on it, but like my mind is buzzing with questions, right? How many vendors? Where are they going to be? What's the lease look like? How many parklets? What's that going to look like? So I'm looking forward to hearing all those answers, and this is something that we've been working on for a long time, so it's exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Move to item 5.1, event recap for Cinco de Mayo Taco Fest 2026.
Good afternoon. Marilyn Brown, CRA Specialist. The item before you today is an event recap presentation for the third annual 2026 Unimex Cinco de Mayo Taco Fest held on May 3rd, 2026 from 2 to 4. Unimex anticipated approximately 2,000 attendees for the event. However, attendance exceeded expectations. According to Placer AI data, the event attracted an estimated 4,100 attendees. Unimex is here to provide you an event recap.
Hi, everybody. Erica Escamilla with Unimex, and I'm filling in for Elmer Pio Quinto, which turned in all the data to Vicki. So I don't have exact numbers. I just have rough estimates and ideas, and here to answer any questions. And I would just want to say We had a great turnout. I did not lead this event this year like I did the previous times, so I was a little skeptical that it would be better, but it actually came out better, and it was really great to see more and more people attend than previous years. I don't know if anything else I can share. I didn't bring anything, I just have.
No?
Any questions?
Yeah, Vice Mayor?
Thank you. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
It's always good to get data back that exceeded expectations. So I can tell you that probably everybody's going to echo that same sentiment. So great job, and we look forward to working with you on the next one.
Thank you.
You know, I attended, right?
Yes.
I had a blast. I got a lot of good memories. It was exciting. I knew it was getting better. I knew it was more successful than the last one, but I'm actually was shocked that it was 4,100. When you expected 2,000, that was great. Even your food trucks, I think they had more variety. Even your merchandise, and it only got better as the night progressed. By the time it was nighttime, it was just like all out. So congratulations. It is an event that I'm hoping becomes like a yearly thing, if not more. Really good. Thank you.
We had a collaboration with Telemundo, and that really helped a lot, boost the event. And it was really nice seeing their whole staff there and, promoting the FIFA event. And
Yes.
so that was really nice, too. So.
Yeah, that was my feeling too, having attended. Telemundo really drove out bigger attendance, so I think it's a lesson to all if you can get television stations in the back of the room, but if we can get a television partner to promote an event, it really does help attendance, and they certainly, I think, played a big role in driving attendance this year.
Yes. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We're very grateful for the help for that. And we hope that this becomes something regular, because it started as an idea because we saw a lot of Taco Fest near, in other cities, and they weren't doing any here, especially not by the Mexican community. And us having such a large Mexican community, I thought it was very important to try to do it for Clearwater. Okay.
Very good, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Go to agenda item 5.2, DDB First Friday Lunchtime Market Report.
Good afternoon again. Vicki Shire, CRA Division Manager. Today I'd like to provide a recap of the First Friday Lunchtime Market, which took place from October 2025 through April 2026. I'll briefly share program results, what we've learned throughout the series, and staff's recommendation moving forward. The idea behind the program was simple. We wanted to create a reason for people to come to downtown during the weekday lunch hour. The market combined local vendors, live music, and a welcoming atmosphere on the 400 block of Cleveland Street. It created a unique lunchtime experience. From the beginning, we focused on 3 objectives: increase weekday foot traffic, support local activity, and expand community engagement. Looking back over the 7-month series, we're very pleased with the results. The market transformed the 400 block into a community gathering space, welcomed more than 1,200 visitors, and increased weekday activity during the lunchtime hour. It became the place where people could gather, enjoy the live entertainment, shop with local vendors, and spend time in downtown. The numbers tell a great story. Across 7 events, we welcomed 1,207 visitors, averaging about 172 attendees. Attendance remained consistent throughout the series, with October and April seeing the highest participation. The busiest time was consistently around noon, showing we successfully reached the lunchtime audience we were hoping to attract. In addition to the strong attendance, we also received positive feedback throughout the series. The market encouraged people to spend time in downtown, explore the area, and enjoy the atmosphere that was created each month. The combination of vendors, live music, and community activity helped make the lunch hour feel more vibrant and welcoming. Another highlight is return on investment. The total program budget was $7,423.02. The investment supported 7 successful events, welcomed more than 1,200 visitors, created weekday activation, and provided opportunities for local vendors to showcase their businesses. These next two slides provide a summary of feedback from our vendors, and it was overwhelmingly positive. We exceeded our goal of having at least 10 vendors at every event. We had more. And many choose to participate month after month. Vendors appreciated the organization, communication, and support from staff. They also shared ideas for future improvements, including stronger marketing, additional food options that don't compete with the local merchants, and exploring evening format. When we compare the results to the key performance indicators established at the beginning of the program, staff believes the market successfully achieved its objectives. We increased weekday foot traffic, created consistent community activity, and provided a welcoming space where residents, employees, and visitors could gather and enjoy downtown. Community support was especially encouraging. We received 69 survey responses, and 100% of the responders said they would like to see the first Friday lunchtime market continue. Based on the results we've shared today, staff recommends continuing the first Friday lunchtime market. As we move forward, we'll focus on expanding marketing efforts, recruiting additional vendors, food options that do not compete with the local merchants, and adding even more entertainment, live music, and activities to continue growing the program. Now let's hear and see First Friday Lunchtime Market.
Hey, it's Steve with Churned Ice Cream. Come on down to the First Friday Clearwater Lunch Market on Cleveland Street.
We've had such an amazing time being right down here at the downtown Clearwater Market. It is an experience of a lifetime.
This is my first time at the lunchtime market. Love being downtown near the water and near Coachman Park.
Welcome to Lunchtime Market. This is my third time coming with Intuition Salon and Spa.
The dreaded fisherman from Barbara's Kitchen here.
My name is Danielle, and I'm with Not On Purpose Crochet.
Kim Hutchins, the owner of Hutchins Wax Company.
It's my first experience here at the Clearwater Market. I can tell you this is a first-class act.
My name is Dawn. I'm coming to you from Coastal Classics today.
It's our second time here at the lunchtime market, and it's been great.
We've been here now, this is our fourth market. We love the energy and the atmosphere here. We really enjoy all the other vendors, especially Jason Momoa.
We've been coming to the First Friday Lunchtime Market from the beginning in October. And what we love about it is getting to connect with more neighbors and local businesses.
Thank you.
Okay. Any board comment, questions?
I just want to say thank you. I think it was absolutely incredible. I've been to the market at least 5 times. Every time I went, I've seen happy people, great feedback from local merchants, and I generally had a lot of fun. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you. The staff team worked very hard. It was a group team effort on that one.
Board Member Tedelici?
I want to say thank you as well. I think it, throughout the weeks, the 7 times, I mean, it was just great. And that's exactly what I personally had imagined, when you have the markets and you bring on more people, you have vendors, they talk about it, and then they come back. With that being said, I do have one question, and it doesn't have to be, like the exact number, but what was the percentage-wise were returning vendors?
Oh, it was more than half.
More than half?
I mean,
Okay.
we had to find additional spacing and be very creative because we had returning vendors. And then when the new ones heard about it, we wanted them to come, of course, too. So we had to get very creative as a staff team and find spaces with still being safe and within guidelines of the city.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that also shows that they enjoyed, they're willing to join as well. Are you planning on promoting the market over to the residences as well? Maybe just, flyers or any type of marketing strategy in that aspect?
We did, but we're looking, if we do this again, and it's not something that we definitely will be doing again, but if we do it again, I know my marketing team has some new ideas that they'd like to try to do with hitting the residents more and getting more outside of just the Clearwater area, but expanding into Dunedin and Safety Harbor too, because they would like to come down to Clearwater too and visit us as well.
Absolutely. There is nothing at that time, nothing going on. So I think that's a great idea. I also have bad news for you. The musician James left, so you might want to look for a new one.
It's okay. I'm sorry to hear about that. I hope it was for a good thing.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Vicky. I think this was great, and I would like to see it again.
Thank you. I'm trying not to cry here. The team, like I said, it was a team effort, and just thank you for the good feedback. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of hard work. I know what we were trying to do, and we just hope that the merchants, were successful, and we did get community down here, and you saw the community, and it was great, and it's just a piece of what we can potentially see in the future and stuff for the city of Clearwater. So, thank you.
Yeah, I think from my end, just the timing, I don't know what you learn, or what we've learned, just, summer months are tough. Everywhere kids are on vacation, it's a tough time. So I think, the program we had before was centered on those months when not during the heat of the summer like today. So I think that it's great and appreciate the team's efforts in making it successful. Okay, with that, thank you. We'll move to item 6.1, Director's Report for July 2026.
Again, good afternoon. Jesus Nino, CRA Executive Director and DDB Director. First, I do want to thank Mr. Michael Wynn with RBOA. Still here. Thank you for sticking around. I do want to say that he represents other communities and organizations, and I'm sure their budgets that they provide him are way bigger. But he is a CEO of his company, and I've been impressed that he's been attending every single meeting. He's been having his most senior staff attend our meetings, and I'm sure they probably have already exceeded our budgets, but they're doing a great job, thank you, and we're impressed. So as far as Find It in downtown Clearwater, we've embraced that. And just to kind of quote the mayor, more is coming, so we're happy. Just to give you a little bit of update, we're trying to be very good partners with the city, so we did fund some banners along the 400 all the way to the 700 block. This is for the America 250, so we were proud that we were able to be that partner with the city. I won't go into this too much, but we're also very excited for the call for mobile vendors, and we're hoping to go ahead and put that team together and start evaluating those submissions, like Vicki mentioned, 24. I'm sure some of them may not qualify, but I'm sure some of them will. As far as event recaps, we did have Symphony by the Sea celebrating America 250 with their wonderful waterfront evening of orchestra music, and it was just a great time for individuals that attended. That took place on June the 6th, 2026 at the Bay Care Sound. And as far as the DDB funding, $50,000 of that, and we were very proud of that event. This one was a fun project as far as for the downtown gimmick art walk. We were hoping to have some photos of the event here for you today, maybe at the next month, unless we have a very big agenda. But it was very exciting just to see the art that was out there. This took place on July the 2nd on the 400 block of Cleveland Street. I'm not sure if Kevin would like to say anything about that when I conclude the presentation.
It was great.
I think that concludes most of the presentation, but I did have one item on here. exit out of here. Not sure if you can show it on the screen. This is salsa and bachata for July 25th. The reason why it wasn't in the report was because it wasn't approved yet, but it's already gone through that process, so here it is for the public. This will take place on the 500 block, July the 25th, Saturday, so anyone who's interested, hopefully you can attend. With that, I'm open for questions.
Okay. Any questions for the director? Councilmember Teixeira.
Just a quick question. I'm not sure if you're going to have the answer, but is it too early to know what the attendance was for the Symphony by the Sea as well as the 400 Chalk Heart event?
We
It's
may
too
have
early?
that data, we'll just get it back to the entire body here.
To echo Jesus, we do have it. The presentation that's online has it included. We did not upload that one for you today. So for both of those events, we did include the Placer IA data. We just didn't upload the right presentation for this afternoon.
Anything else for the director? Okay. If not, thank you. We'll move to item 7 on the agenda, board members to be heard. Any board member to be heard today? If not, we will adjourn the July 13th, 2026 meeting of the City of Clearwater Downtown Development Board. And we will recess for a few moments while we switch out some nameplates before we begin the CRA meeting. This time, we'll call to order the July 13, 2026 meeting of the City of Clearwater Community Redevelopment Agency. This time, we'll move to item 2.1 in the agenda.
Approved minutes of the June 15, 2026 CRA meeting.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Move to item 3 on the agenda. Are there any citizens to be heard on items that are not on today's CRA agenda?
Now, this, hopefully this is going to be put online or on air so people can see my slides as I go through. Okay,
Appears it
there'll
is.
also be, okay, so I'll start now. My name's Kathy Flaherty. I came to talk about the area up in the East Gate known as the Festival Plaza area. To me, I guess I don't think anyone really knows it exists, so I'm here to make a presentation on that area. Basically, in 2017, the city of Clearwater approved to have a festival core incorporated in the Cleveland Street Phase 3 project, and it had a street it has a festival street area and surrounded with a little mercado area. Now, basically, what it was is a market zone up there in the East Gate. This was our economic revitalization. It was supposed to hold special event markets. Basically, here it is. You've got Gulf to Bay in Cleveland, and the festival area is right there. Here's another shot. So it's incorporated in the Cleveland Phase 3 street project. All right, so here's another shot of it. So if you guys are looking for a food truck venue place, this was built. $20 million was built just for this purpose. All right, so there was also a Park Park on the Leon Street, which needs some attention. And then in September, so that was one project. And that first project, the street phase and the Festival Plaza, was paid for with city funds, okay? The other part of the project was the Mercado, which was inside. That was approved on September 5th, 2017, and that's what the Mercado was. So basically, there are 3 projects up there in the East Gate: the Cleveland Street Phase 3 project, the Festival Plaza project, and the Mercado. 2 were done by the city, incorporated, and the other one was done by the CRA. The whole thing started to be done in 2021 because there was a big delay because they didn't have the underground street, like the infrastructure. So there was like a 4-year delay. And during that time, a lot of things changed and got mussed around. So basically, here's the plans from the city engineer. So it was built by the city. There it is. And here's the overlook when it was finished, right? When it was done, the city announced construction on Streetscape Phase 3 is complete. Well, that also included the festival market, the Festival Plaza. And you can see that here, and this grass is the Mercado. It will be. All right, so here's pictures right when it was finished, and it was done. And then the prior CRA director, Miss Matthews, she was going to start activating the area. But then, guess what? She was fired. All right? Never heard another thing about activating that street market area. Then we also had economic zones, all right? In our economic zone, we had an economic zone right over that spot. But then this economic map changed.
Thank you, Ms. Flaherty.
Okay?
Yeah,
I'm tired of
time's
it.
up.
This is ridiculous.
Thank
we
you.
have a whole
Thank you for your
thing up
time.
there.
Yeah. Thank you for your time today. Yeah. With that, we'll move to, is there anyone else here from the public desire to speak to a CRA item that's not on today's agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to item 4.1.
July Business Spotlight, Social Sips Cafe.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tasha Hatley, CRA Specialist, and today I'm pleased to recognize Social Sips Cafe and Bar as our July Business Spotlight winner. Located at 801 Cleveland Street, Suite B, Social Sips Cafe and Bar is a valued part of downtown Clearwater's business community. Since opening in late 2024, owner Drew Nowajik and manager Bradley Shelton have built a business that emphasizes hospitality, community connection, and creating a welcoming experience for everyone. Known for its specialty drinks, including its popular taro milk tea and affogato, the cafe offers more than just local coffee. They offer artisan gelato and handcrafted boba tea. It's a place where people can relax, catch up with friends, and connect with their neighbors. Looking ahead, the business plans to expand its offerings with new food items, beer, wine services, live music, and community events. Social Sips Cafe and Bar supports the city and CRA's shared goals of fostering community engagement, supporting local businesses, and creating a vibrant downtown redevelopment district. At this time, we invite you to view the video.
Hi, my name is Bradley. I'm the manager at Social Sips. We've been here on the corner of Cleveland and Myrtle Street for about a year now. Social Sips Cafe is a community cafe where people can come together and really get to know their neighbors. They're going to be greeted with a nice, warm, relaxing, calming environment that's a little bit modern and up to date. Some of the most popular drinks that customers keep coming back for is definitely our taro milk tea. And then for desserts, we do killer affogatos, which is going to be a shot of espresso poured over a scoop of gelato. The thing I enjoy the most about interacting with customers is really getting to know them. For example, I have one of my favorite customers, Mr. Savage, that comes in all the time. He's an 80-year-old Vietnam vet, but he comes in every single day for a cup of coffee, a scoop of gelato, and a good conversation. For the future of Social Sips, I'm really excited for the addition of our new food products that are coming, and we're also going to be serving beer and wine. And I'm also excited for having live music out on the patio, putting on events like wine pairings and stuff like that. We're looking to expand our hours, but currently our hours Monday through Thursday are 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Friday and Saturday 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Very good. Yeah. Congratulations. Here you go.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Yep, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
We're going to get a photograph here, so everybody gather around.
Get everyone together, please. Okay, let me do some adjustments here. So, Elena, can you come over this way? If you don't want to, that's fine. Okay. Actually,
Don't want to ruin it. You got
just
it.
stand over here and we'll have everyone together this way. There we go. That works. All right, you can hold your sign up nice and proud. In 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to Social Sips Cafe. Yeah, would you like to say a word? Yeah.
Just want to thank how much work thank the CRA for what they do, and this is so important, especially for small businesses in the downtown area. Also, I always want to tell about a promotional item. I did this with Hatchet Hangout when I got this last month. We have an ongoing tab for all police, EMS, fire that we keep that goes with free coffee. Anytime they come in, they can get anything they want. So that's just an ongoing thing we do year round, just to promote that. So remember that. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you for supporting our first responders. Yeah. That will move to item 4.2 on the agenda.
Approve the third quarter budget amendments in fiscal year 2025-26 North Greenwood CRA budget and adopt resolution 26-03.
Good afternoon, Ann Lopez, CRA Assistant Director. This item is to approve the third quarter budget amendments for fiscal year 25-26 for the North Greenwood CRA and to adopt resolution 26-03. These amendments adjusted to the budget to reflect updated revenues received in increment funding from both Pinellas County and the City of Clearwater. and an increase in interest earnings. The amendments to the operating budget reflect adjustments of actual and anticipated expenditures through the remainder of the year. And adjustments to the North Greenwood CRA projects establishes the new Container Village project with $500,000 transferred from an existing project fund. There's a decrease in the Mobility County project to reflect the decrease in increment, and an increase in Economic Development City. These amendments were shared at the July 7th North Greenwood Citizens Advisory Committee with a recommendation for approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone here from the public desire to speak to this agenda item? Hearing seeing none, is there any trustees' discussion? Not, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 4.2.
Excuse me, we need a reading, yeah.
Resolution number 26-03, resolution of the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Clearwater, Florida, adopting the third quarter amendments to the North Greenwood CRA fiscal 2025 to 2026 annual operating budget, providing an effective date.
Okay. Now is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 4.2.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 4.3.
Approve clarifications to the North Greenwood Residential Exterior Improvement Grant Program guidelines related to grant fund disbursement procedures and eligible recipients of grant payments.
Good afternoon, Marilyn Brown, CRA Specialist. Today, staff is requesting approval of the recommended revisions and clarifications to the North Greenwood Residential Exterior Improvement Grant Program. These updates are intended to improve program administration, greater clarity for applicants, and ensure that the program is administered effectively and consistently. The proposed revisions do not change the program's intent, eligibility requirements, funding limits, or overall structure. The proposed clarifications include the following. Section 3 clarifies that the grant disbursement process by allowing payments to be made directly to the applicant and approved licensed contractor or a vendor as approved by the CRA director. It also clarifies that up to 50% of the approved grant award may be advanced with no more than one payment issued every 30 days. Section 4 adds mailboxes as an eligible improvement under the program. Section 6 clarifies reimbursement procedures, documentation requirements, phased payment, and confirms that the complete reimbursement request will be processed within 30 days. Section 9 adds an acknowledgement to the applicant informing applicants that grant funds are considered taxable income and that a Form 1099 will be issued for any grant funds just dispersed. These clarifications were developed in coordination with the city's attorney's office to improve consistency, transparency, and overall administration of the program. The proposed revisions and clarifications were also presented to the North Greenwood Citizens Advisory Committee on July 7th. Staff recommends approval of the proposed revisions and clarifications to the North Greenwood Residential Exterior Improvement Grant Program. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is anyone here today from the public that desires to speak to this agenda item? Seeing none, is there any trustees' discussion? If there's none, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 4.3.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Agenda item 4.4.
Approve the recommended updates to the Downtown Commercial Grant Program guidelines related to grant fund disbursement procedures and eligible payees.
Good afternoon again, Vicki Shire, CR Division Manager. Before you today are proposed clarifications to the Downtown Commercial Grant Program guidelines. These revisions are administrative in nature and were developed in coordination with the City Attorney's Office to provide clearer guidance on grant disbursement procedures, improve transparency and consistency, and maintain the original intent of the Downtown Commercial Grant Program. The primary changes include Section 3, Available Assistance, clarifies that upon request with the CRA Director approval, up to 50% of the grant award may be paid in advance to the applicant or directly to the applicant's licensed contractor or approved vendor. Section 7, Disbursement Policy and Procedure, clarifies eligible payees for grant funds, establishes procedures for partial disbursements, and specifies the documentation required for reimbursement. Section 11, application, adds acknowledgement that the applicant understands grant funds are considered taxable income and they will receive a Form 1099 for any grant funds dispersed. This ensures applicants are informed of the tax implications before accepting funding. Staff recommends approval of these changes. Thank you.
Anyone here from the public today that desires to speak to this agenda item? Hearing seeing none, is there any trustees' discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Just had
You have a question?
a quick question. I think that notification that they're going to see a 1099 is pretty important. Do we have a plan to go back to anyone that we've recently paid and issued checks for, just to maybe give them that clarification versus just fixing going forward?
With the downtown commercial grant, they've already been ahead of time. We had no issue with the commercial grants. It was the North Green residential grant, so we had to go back and do. This one, everybody knows up front that this is
Thank you.
taxable income for the commercial grants.
Important.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve agenda item 4.4.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 4.5.
Approve recommended updates to the North Greenwood Commercial Grant Program guidelines related to grant fund disbursement procedures and eligible recipients of grant payments.
Vicki Shire, CRA Division Manager. Before you today are proposed changes to the North Greenwood Commercial Grant Program guidelines. These revisions are administrative in nature and were developed in coordination with the City Attorney's Office to provide clear guidance on grant disbursement procedures, improve transparency and consistency, and maintain the original intent of the North Greenwood Commercial Grant Program. The primary changes include Section 3, available assistance. Clarifies that upon request with the CRA Director of approval, up to 50% of grant award may be paid in advance to the applicant or directly to the applicant's licensed contractor or approved vendor. Section 7, disbursement policy and procedure. Clarifies eligible recipients of grant funds, establish procedures for phased or partial disbursements, and specifies the documentation required for reimbursement. Section 11, application. Adds an acknowledgement that applicants understand grant funds are considered taxable income and they will receive a Form 1099 for any grant funds dispersed. In addition, these recommended changes were presented at the North Greenwood CAC July meeting. Staff recommends approval of the North Greenwood Commercial Grant revisions. Thank you.
Anyone here from the public that desires to speak to this agenda item? Hearing seeing none, is there any trustees' discussion? Councilmember Teixeira.
I just wanted to go on record and say that I really appreciate all the revisions in today's agenda. It really takes into consideration the applicant's perspective. It also, I think, increases the likelihood of successful programming. It's very user-friendly, and so I like the direction that we're going in. I think it's going to have a direct relationship with how successful we're going to be in the future for the whole process.
Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Not, is there a motion?
Move to approve agenda item 4.5.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Agenda item 4.6.
Downtown revitalization.
This particular item is for the board here to talk about any items you wish in the downtown.
I might ask the trust, I mean, we put this on at a time when we were not talking a lot, and we've been talking a lot about downtown revitalization, different venue, different boards, and so is there a desire to keep this on the every agenda, or is it time to take it off, I think? We can always put it back on later, but as a recurring item, I don't know if things have changed and we need to have it on or not. Vice Mayor?
Yes, sir, I agree with removing it, and if we ever need it, we can always bring it back.
Okay, all right, okay. Thank you for that. We'll move to item 5.1.
Director's report.
Thank you, Eric. Again, Jesus Nino, CRA Executive Director. This is the report for July 2026. So a lot of exciting items have been happening in the CRA world. We'll start with the downtown. We have been having very successful monthly meetings here at the library. These are community outreach meetings. The last meeting we had was on June 30th. This was an update about Ruth Eckerd Hall, which is presented on basically highlighting the Bay Care Sound, and there was a very good turnout for that particular meeting. Our next meeting is July 28th. This is for an update from our engineering department to the community about the projects that we have in downtown. This for the public, 3 to 4 p.m. right here in the library. So this will be a collaboration as far as the update with Mr. Battle and myself. But as far as what we've been doing is we have been meeting with a lot of different individuals and different entities for the past few months just to kind of get ready for the next steps. As we've been providing tours, we've been traveling out of state, we've been just very, very active on being aggressive on this particular item. But I know there's a little bit of change in the game plan, at least suggestion, proposed. So I'm going to pass that over to Mr. Battle to kind of give that update.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Jesus, for the introduction. I just wanted to share with you where I believe that we are headed, in particular with all of the staff efforts to communicate, outreach, reach out, try to find partners, the right type of project, right type of fit. I think as of today, this month, we had said to you we would be ready to do out a formal call for proposals. I can share with you that I don't think that the marketplace has changed much since we had this conversation earlier this year, but that doesn't mean that our work would discontinue to try to find the right type of partner or partners to bring some type of cultural or artistic activity or just activating the library in a way that fits in with Coachman Park and Bay Care Sound. So I would share with you and recommend that we suspend the formal reimagining of the library with a formal process, if you will, and continue this process in an informal way. Mainly because we can continue to solicit interest, we can continue to recruit opportunities to fill the space, but whatever we do would still require a notice if we decide to bring something to you to present an opportunity to lease space from the city. So it doesn't change the legal process of how we would communicate with you once we have somebody on board that we would like to bring to you and we could recommend a partnership. We would just bring them and then still have to do a notification to allow for other competing interests to show us the best that they have as well. So we think it gives us actually a little bit of a more strategic approach. We can continue to approach folks who have expressed interest but may be hesitant. There are a lot of things in the wind that is presenting that hesitation, i.e. Dollars for these types of cultural organizations not being as readily available as they have been in the past. And I think we shared that with you earlier this year in terms of some of the feedback that we got for some of the cultural organizations. Second of which, with funding from all factors, whether it be cultural organizations, foundations, governments, national, state, and federal, all not contributing as much in this space, many of those same organizations who would depend on those types of partnerships are also kind of trying to figure out where the tea leaves are headed with some of those things. So, and we still are in a let's continue to see the growth and what will happen with Osceola, the new projects that are under development. We just talked about downtown marketing. We're in a good place, and we should not be excited that opportunities will come our way. This just might not be the time to go through a similar process as we did before and still get the presentations that don't inspire us to move forward with any of them. So we ask that you allow us to continue our efforts, but not in a formal way, and we'll update you continuously at these meetings about what our progress is.
Okay. Discussion, Councilmember Teixeira.
So it's pretty obvious that this is my passionate project. As far back as I think more than a year ago, I went on that podium and I did a presentation, and this is something I'm very passionate about. So it saddens me that this process has halted, and so I probably will not be part of any of the decision-making, at least not from the council. But I do understand completely the rationale behind this new direction, right? It's very important that we respond to the environment, and that is very important to success. We can't just dig on our heels and ignore what's going on around. So the rationale behind it, I support it, I understand it. I think it's wise to do that. I do appreciate that you are continuing the conversation. And as I pleaded with you earlier last week, even though I won't be part of any decision-making, I trust you to pick up the baton. That's a lot of trust.
And said
But I
publicly,
understand
too, so
completely
thank you.
the rationale.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that feedback, and definitely your wisdom in this space will still be dependent, and council is of value to us. So we want to make sure that all points of view are heard, and those who have the most experience with them are the best to share what we've been through. That historical perspective is important as we go forward, as it was as we've gotten to this point. So I appreciate that feedback from you.
Anybody else? I'll just say this. I support, postponing a bit. I think it's an opportunity for us as a community to maybe think more broadly and creatively about the use of this space. We do have the Ballad Hotel going up just right next door, that when it's finished out, I don't know what community need that might inspire, or interest it might inspire for a different use for maybe not all of this building, but a portion of this building. We're looking at 3 years into the Bay Care Sound, a very successful base with music, and every time I'm down there at a concert, I look back up the hill at this building and think, wow, what are we missing here? That, we've got all these people in here for a music concert that are looking back at that same building. What if there was something going on there? And it doesn't necessarily have to be visual art. It could be, I don't know, it could be all kinds of things. But what could we do here in this space differently that would intrigue interest in getting them to come back after the concert to visit or do whatever? So because we've just not gotten the kind of interest we thought we would get, and there's the situation, nonprofits all, struggling with their own funding right now, that I think it's a good time for us to pause a bit and to take a look. But I'd like to see us take a really broad look. I know we have restrictions on what we can use, and so I'm not suggesting we lease it out to for-profit, not at all, but there may be other public purposes for this building that we could use it for that potentially could even maybe generate some revenue at some point to at least cover the operating costs for keeping it open. But I think it's a good time for us to pause a little bit and challenge ourselves to think creatively about what purposes we could use within the framework, the guidelines for this building that might serve the citizens and taxpayers better. Okay. All right. Yep.
May I ask for a clarification, just so from the team's perspective, because the charter also limits the types of things that can go in there. Are you suggesting we keep it within what the charter allows, or consider things that the charter does not allow?
No, well, with the charter allows, but one time, former mayor very famously, wanted to use this building as a city hall. I don't know. I'm not saying that the team changes their search. I'm just saying for us as a body to keep an open mind about what creative things we could do with this building within the charter restrictions. But there are many, many different public purposes for this building other than something to house visual arts gallery or something like that. Could be a performing arts center. I don't know, but I think keeping an open mind is a good opportunity to do that as well. I wouldn't change what you're doing, but I do think we need to be open-minded and creative in thinking about how we use this building, at least a portion of the building, better to serve the public. Okay. Anything else?
Yes, sir. I'll continue. I'll try to make this quick, but the Indigo project, they're still, trying to basically lease out all their spaces. We're hoping to work with, we're not hoping, we are working with the Economic Development and Housing Division. So whenever that time comes, we can celebrate with the Indigo as far as once they're basically complete with their project. And this is for the Evo Entertainment. As everyone's aware, that site's already cleared. They're already advertised as far as where they're at to the public. Osceola Parking Garage, this is also an exciting project. City asset on top of CRA property. We're hoping when that's constructed and done that we work very closely with basically the market, and we have tenants basically move into those spaces. And I do want to thank the Economic Development and Housing Division. They kind of been charged to take the lead as far as the lease structures for each of those units, and hopefully we can all work together to find awesome tenants. And this one is big as well. This is no surprise to anyone here, but on June the 16th, 2026, Pinellas County did issue out their RFN. So hopefully we're all part of that, on the table there with them. This is exciting. Hopefully we just get updates from the city manager's office as time goes by. These properties are located across the street from the Municipal Services Building. So from what I understand, there's demolition permits for those properties. They're vacant right now, the buildings. And once we get any updates on as far as plans for those properties, we'll bring them back to you. And this one is also an FYI, and anyone that's kind of watching this meeting, there is 2 acres of available land across the street from Nature's Patch. The CRA department, working with Mr. Battle and other departments, planning and development, we have contracted with the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council to do an amendment to our downtown community redevelopment area plan. It's not going to be any type of huge amendment. It's going to be a very simple amendment, hopefully. So hopefully we can get that done fairly quickly. That's just basically to accommodate for the Pinellas County properties and other minor edits that we need done on the plans. With North Greenwood, the Clearwater Urban Leadership Coalition, they did have a very successful, the Taste of the Village recap that took place on June the 15th, 2026. So I think some of you were there. I saw pictures of you at the event, and we're continuing to work with the Clearwater Urban Leadership Coalition on this initiative to push them forward. Hopefully, we can have a groundbreaking of the mini container site in the next few months. Our CAC meetings, they are becoming more and more popular with the community, just so they can get information on what's going on in their community and also provide us feedback, and so we can work with them. Our last meeting took place on July the 7th, and it was a very good turnout. Thank you to the city manager and assistant city manager for being in attendance as well, and also the planning and development staff. With North Ward, the night at North Ward, this is a team effort with General Services, planning and development. The lead is economic development and housing. CRA team is there as well to plan for this next event. It's coming up on July the 30th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. Anyone that's watching, you're invited to attend. And we're also hitting the streets as far as to remind everyone and to invite them of the actual event. I'm not sure if you wanted to say anything about that, Mr. Battle, or not.
Just one piece of information. So we've gotten over 100 RSVPs so far. So we think that there'll be great community turnout. I'd encourage everyone who's watching or in the presence of my voice to RSVP as well. We want to be prepared for, as large a crowd as we possibly can be. And also we want to make sure that rain does not come into the equation. So we ask that you all pray for a non-rain event. But we're very much looking forward to the July 30th. Basically a big open house, and we'll present it as such and hope to see everyone at the event.
Thank you, sir. Just a little bit more on North Ward. So this item here is about the North Greenwood overlay. So I think last week, this also went to Ford Pinellas, and it was passed unanimously by them. The next step is to go before the Countywide Planning Authority for their approval as well. Mr. Benito and Mr. Arboreton were at the meeting. Thank you. With property disposition, we continue to dispose of our properties as efficiently as possible. We are in the middle of negotiations with Archway Partners for the properties located at Washington, between South Martin Luther King and Washington Avenue in the Prospect Lake District. Other properties we continue to go through that process, 103 Northeast Avenue, then several other smaller properties. I think that concludes the regular presentation, but I do have an item that it's basically hot off the presses. This is from the Tampa Bay Business and Wealth Publications. This is for the property for the telephone building right here on Cleveland Street and Garden. I have some photos for you. So Mr. Christopher Edwards presented on this particular item along with many others. Sorry, this paperclip is really stuck on here. This is for Rippers. It's a new restaurant that'll be going into that location. I have pictures here for you. And then I'll give you a little bit of the write-up, not the entire thing, but the first paragraph of Rippers. That's a telephone building. So as far as the publication from the Tampa Bay Business and Wealth, it's that downtown Clearwater lands first restaurant from Michelin-starred hospitality group. This was today, July 13th, 2026. So the restored telephone building in downtown Clearwater has landed its first restaurant tenant, with the hospitality group behind Michelin-starred Roca bringing its first Clearwater concept to Cleveland Street. Called Rippers, the restaurant will occupy the building's ground floor and serve deep-fried Ripper hot dogs, burgers, chicken wings and sandwiches, fries, and hand-crafted milkshakes. It also marks Taste Pretty Good Hospitality's first expansion outside of Tampa. This is exciting, and we'll keep you posted on this additional new, what's going on there at Telephone Building. I'm not sure if City Manager or Mr. Batter wanted to say anything about that, but I just received this around 11:30 today.
Thank you.
That concludes my presentation.
Okay, any questions for the director? Not, thank you for your report, appreciate it. With that, if there's no other business to come before the CRA, we will adjourn the July 13th, 2026 meeting. This time we'll call to order the council work session of the Clearwater City Council for July 13th, 2026. Move to item 2.1 on the agenda, our July Service Awards. And there are several awards today, 4 service awards to be presented. So this time I'd like to call forward Cole Van Dusen from our police department for his 5-year employee appreciation letter and pin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service, and also now I'll call forward Graham Donaldson from Marine and Aviation Department for his 10-year employee letter of appreciation and clock. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service as well. And now, call forward Teresa Phillips from our Utility Customer Service Department and ask the city manager to read the letter of appreciation.
Teresa began her career with the city on July 7th of 1991, joining the Clearwater Police Department as a communications operator, serving our citizens during their most critical moments, all while making sure to do so with professionalism, compassion, and care. During her time with dispatch, she was promoted to trainer, where she used her skills to help coach and develop new employees. She received numerous commendation letters, citizen compliments, and letters of recognition during her time with the Clearwater Police Department. Then, after almost 17 years, Teresa decided it was time to serve the city in a different capacity. On May 27th of 2008, Teresa brought her passion for service to the Utility Customer Service Department and began assisting the city's citizens in a different capacity. She maintains that caring for the customer, and that's always her focus. She began in the call center, then added responsibility of cashiering, and eventually moved to the billing department. Teresa then took an opportunity to increase her responsibilities and was promoted from a billing representative to a customer service specialist. This moved her back into the call center, where she continued to rack up applause cards from fellow employees and numerous citizens. In March of 22, Teresa came back to the building department and after a short time was promoted to a building specialist 2 in February of 24. Throughout her 35 years of service, Teresa has exemplified the City of Clearwater's commitment to superior customer service by consistently placing the needs of citizens first and treating every customer interaction with professionalism, respect, and compassion. Her willingness to share knowledge, train new employees, improve procedures, and embrace new responsibilities has contributed to a high-performing government that delivers efficient, reliable, and responsive service to the community. Teresa's dedication has left a lasting impact on both citizens she serves and the colleagues she supports every day. Teresa, congratulations on your dedication to serving the community for 35 years. You truly are what helps make Clearwater thrive. Thank you.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa, for 35 years. My script said 25, so I'm glad. I noticed the plaque next to me said 35, but it's just 10 years. I mean, what's 10 years? But, when you've served for 35. But thank you, Teresa, 35 years. Let's give her another round of applause. Well, great dedication. Now ready for our bi-monthly team award for July, August 2026. I'd like to call forward the emergency gas leak team. That's Greg Kuntz, John Turley, Corey Huberti, Colby Wade, and Dylan Whitaker. Y'all will wait right there. The city manager is going to read a description of your fine work.
The emergency gas leak team is being recognized for their exceptional response to a recent critical underground natural gas emergency involving 4-inch gas main that was the sole source of heat and hot water for a local RV resort. Faced with a high-risk situation, the team did not hesitate and responded with outstanding professionalism, technical expertise, and unwavering commitment to safety. Their quick action safely mitigated the hazard, prevented further escalation, minimized the risk of property damage, and ensured service to the affected community was maintained during a critical time. Their actions exemplify the city's commitment to high-performing government by working collaboratively, responding effectively under pressure, and delivering reliable, high-quality service. They also embody superior public service through their dedication to protecting our residents, safeguarding critical infrastructure, and putting the needs of the community first. Thank you for your dedication, your teamwork, and professionalism. Your actions reflect the very best of our organization and help make Clearwater thrive by making a positive difference in the lives of those we serve. Because of your efforts, our community is stronger, more connected, and one of the very best. Good job, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That will move to item 2.2 on the agenda.
The Sound Quarterly Update.
Hi. Brianna Roberts, Vice President of Event Operations at Ruth Eckerd Hall. Before I get into our little presentation here, I just want to highlight again, I think we have already notified or shouted from the rooftops on our social media that we were recently awarded #2 amphitheater nationwide. That is a jump up from last year, so we're really excited about that and wanted to put that up here again. So far, I know you guys ask each time how many shows we've had so far. From the beginning of 2026 until now, we have had 16 shows, and then we have 25 more planned for the end of this calendar year. So we're really just getting started. It's hot right now, but we've got a packed fall. Moving into my sustainability portion of our report. As always, our mission at Ruth Eckerd Hall, we are dedicated to conserving valuable resources and reducing the ecological footprint of concert venues and live events. We do use a sustainability plan that is touching on the 8 strategy categories adapted from the Green Print 2.0 from the city, and that would be education and awareness, green energy in buildings, transportation, livability and conservation, water conservation, waste reduction, local food, and green economy. So here's just some of our statistics here. We are estimating that we've saved over 140,000 single-use plastic drinkware from our landfills. And that figure is made up of the following. We've got aluminum cups, aluminum canned water, we do canned wine, and aluminum soda cans. We also sell reusable cups that's made out of recycled material, and we are estimating that we have a total recycled amount of 360 cubic yards. So we're really proud of that. We hold to that. We make all of our vendors abide by those rules. We try our best with the artists backstage, but we're certainly seeing a lot of this in our food and beverage department. Some cool updates and completed goals. First, we are now utilizing True Tickets. That is a digital delivery method that's become the default method of delivery for all of our shows. So what this means is we're transitioning from a hard paper ticket to digital only. It's delivered right to your phone. Not only is that easier for our guests, it cuts down on fraud. It's easier for us. We love it. But we're also cutting down on our paper use. In addition to that, we've instituted a $1 print fee for patrons wanting hard tickets to incentivize that digital option. And since then, we've seen a decrease of 80% in our mailed physical tickets. So reducing mail, reducing our printing costs and costs associated with mailing hard tickets. And then, very recently, we installed a sunshade behind the stage to reduce direct sun into the seating areas and protect the stage and equipment from rain. So if you've been to one of the last 2 or 3 events, you might have seen at least one of our panels up for that. So we're really excited about that and looking forward to that as we get a little bit hotter. We can also hopefully stay on schedule when we get that little bit of light rain and not have to call anything just for a little bit of raindrops on our equipment. What we're in the middle of currently is a power distribution project to reduce the need for generators on show days to power essential services. So we have needed to rely on generators to power our food and beverage operations for portable AC or fans or lights to support our vendors and operations in general. And thankfully, with this new project going on, we're actually going to utilize the power available to us from the building itself and just redistribute it so that we're not tripping things all over the venue. So we're really excited about that, and that should be complete within the next couple weeks. We have also upgraded the current Listen Everywhere assisted listening system, and we have invested in receivers, net loops, and in-ear listening devices to comply with current ADA standards for the deaf and hard of hearing. So we did have this assisted listening system already in the venue, and what we did is we just invested in more equipment to offer folks so that they didn't have to rely on their own technology. So you can visit guest services and rent one of our pieces of equipment, and if you need any sort of assistance in hearing our great shows. And last but not least, in our constant endeavor to look for new and locally owned food vendors, we are welcoming Domino's Tacos. They are award-winning gluten-free taco vendor, so they're one of our new regulars, so want to give a shout out to them. Current practices, if you're not aware of what we already do, backstage and at the Florida Central Credit Union View, we use upcycled agricultural byproduct plates and bowls, and aluminum and cornstarch-based cups, and sugarcane-based eco-friendly flatware. Say that 10 times fast. We prohibit distribution of items and practices that are harmful to wildlife and the ecosystem, such as balloons and confetti. While those look really awesome and we get requests for them all the time, we're really about trying to protect our waterways and the beautiful land that we have right on the water there. And as always, we use digital programming, and we encourage digital messaging whenever possible. That includes when renters come into our building and want to hand out flyers. We're really looking, hey, get a QR code, or use our really awesome giant video boards to display your messaging instead. And additionally, we also encourage water and energy conservation and awareness throughout the venue. We do have signage in all of our restrooms and anywhere that there may be water use, so that guests can follow along with us. Before I get into my video, are there any questions about the sustainability? Okay. All right. I think I can just click in here. On this one, right? Thank you. Short and sweet. We're really excited about beating Red Rocks out this year. I just want to say that. They're like the standard of outdoor venues. So, any questions for us, or the sound, sustainability, or anything from this quarter?
Questions? Vice Mayor?
I have no questions. Congratulations on number 2. That's awesome. Can't wait
you.
for us to be at number 1, because that'll be another great day. So
We're excited.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? I do have one. I get questions about the sunscreen, which is great that we've got that in now, because that's, depending on the time of year, it can be really tough on those folks when events start. See the stage, so that's great. The only question I get is, and Bobby's not here, but Susan's here, but I do get questions about booking pace. I mean, we've been up here long enough and we know how it works, and it's not like this. It's up and down, and it depends on what's the music industry is doing at the moment, and there's a lot that goes into it. But I do get a lot of questions, particularly from downtown merchants, about, hey, well, we've had, 2 months where we haven't had very many shows or whatever. Can you just tell us what, are we on pace booking-wise? Does it look like we're going to be, seeing more? I've already seen the schedule. There's been a lot added on here in the last month for the fall, but I mean, it appears that the booking pace is similar to what's been in prior years.
I would say it's pretty much on track for that. You hit it on the head. It kind of varies. We do have, like this year in particular, we have a really packed October. I think there's something like 12 shows in October, and that's just kind of how things go. It depends on who's touring at what times and what venues they prefer. We do try to add stuff into, like the Capitol Theater, for example, we might have a summer movie series when it's a little bit lighter, so we try to kind of balance it out in that way. But it definitely varies. I know Bobby could speak to it a little bit more, but we are open to talking to the merchants, and we have had meetings with them about, how can we drum up more activity when it may necessarily be a sound show, but something in between or something we can be a part of. So we're definitely open to that conversation, but it does vary, like you said, season to season. But overall, we are increasing each year.
And not to throw shade on our friends from Tampa, but I did drive past on I-4 the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater Thursday night during a torrential downpour.
Yes.
And they don't have covered seating yet. In fact, I just wonder, how much they can even protect their stage. And I pointed out to a friend of mine that I was at a Willie Nelson concert recently at the Bay Care Sound, and Willie, at his age, performed right through rain. It wasn't a torrential downpour, but he just kept on going. So, hopefully that's an attractive thing for musicians and artists to know that they at least have some guarantee of covered seating for their events if they book here. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you've seen it. We have some artists that want to strictly come back to the Bay Care Sound, whether it just be for us or just that's the type of venue they want to play at and they don't want to go to Tampa. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I just had a quick thought that popped into my mind. Do you remember back in the day when we were talking about the Bay Care Sound as if it was this like pie in the sky idea? Remember
Yes.
that? We never once thought it was actually going to become a reality, but we still encouraged it. Did you ever think it was going to be like number 2 in the
No.
name? You know what I mean?
No.
I
We're
had that
so
vague memory.
excited.
I remember talking about that with you
Yeah.
back in the day. So, awesome.
It does. It makes me want to cry. I'm
I
really
know.
proud of our team and obviously the partnership we have here.
I want it
So-
on my tombstone, literally. Yeah. Because for 10 years, it was like, it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen. And then it happens, and it's such a successful
We
thing.
did it.
So, yes. And thank you for being part of that wave of encouragement, Brianna. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Anything else, Councilmember Albritton?
So I know that one of the concerns was the Live Nation Ticketmaster thing maybe was taking some of the bigger artists or the artists away. Is that still something that where you have to deal with over there?
I know that Bobby could probably speak to that a little bit better, but I still think we're attracting, I mean, I don't have it with me here, but I know we've got new and younger artists coming to the Sound. It's really just that it's a different demographic of artists for us. So I don't feel like we're being majorly affected by that. We're still growing and putting on awesome shows.
Well, I can tell you this, that I'm really happy with the mix of different styles of music and entertainment that you're putting on here for everybody. And I don't know some of them, and I go to them and I really like them, so I've been enjoying it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And sharing good news for us. Appreciate you. Yeah. That would move to item 3.1 on the agenda.
So council, item 3.1 is to approve a 30-year franchise agreement with Duke Energy Florida LLC for the purpose of providing electric and power services in the city of Clearwater, and pass ordinance 9929-26 on the first reading. In December of 1995, the city granted a 30-year franchise agreement to Florida Power. In the years that followed, Florida Power was acquired by Duke Energy, and Duke has provided local electric service since then. As the 30-year franchise agreement started to reach its end, the city began to evaluate the financial and operation feasibility of the city distributing electricity directly to customers, similar to how the Clearwater operates its water and sewer utility, and then the Clearwater gas system. In 2024, the city hired Nugen to prepare a feasibility study. And in September 2025, Nugen presented an electric feasibility study to City Council. Based on that presentation, Council voted to go forward with an appraisal. In June of this year, the city did receive an appraisal from Nugen. Now, since the agreement has expired, the city and Duke have been operating on a month-to-month basis. The city and Duke have also been engaged in negotiations for a new franchise agreement. So under the proposed franchise agreement, Duke will continue to construct, operate, and maintain its electric utility facilities to the city and its residents. The new franchise agreement will be for 30 years, which is the same period of time as the expired franchise agreement. And the city will continue to receive a 6% franchise fee, which is the same as the previous franchise agreement. In addition, Duke and the city will enter into a memorandum of agreement. Now, the memorandum of agreement is not set for approval this week. It's just set for discussion. What's set to be approved would be the first reading of the ordinance. Now, the duration of the memorandum of agreement will coincide with the 30-year franchise agreement term. And it will provide as follows. And everything I'm going to list out is in the memorandum of agreement. And it's benefits that are provided to the city of Clearwater and its residents, as well as investments made by Duke over this period of time. So there will be a vision community action plan that will provide, and it will also provide ongoing economic developments in support in recommendation of this plan in the amounts of $20,000 annually for the first 5 years of the memorandum. There's going to be a downtown retail development strategy. Also funding for the strategy of 5 installments of $30,000, followed by a site readiness review of the strategy, and this will be paid by Duke. Assist the city's increased infrastructure resiliency goals to further support economic development. Annual donations of $100,000 for 6 consecutive years. Site readiness evaluations of city-designated downtown areas and the Hercules Industrial Park. Providing 5 annual payments of $20,000 in economic development funding for the North Greenwood CRA. Complete a construction of a looped electrical feed for the city's police department at 645 Pier Street. Donate $10,000 annually for the first 20 years of this memorandum for the city's beautification efforts. Duke and the city will draft and execute a 20-year naming rights sponsorship agreement for Coachman Park's improvements to include shade-producing structures, with Duke contributing $30,000 annually for each year during that term. They will provide annual updates identifying third-party users attached to Duke polls to the city. Will provide annual GIS updates of Duke's distribution network. Allow the city continued use of property adjacent to the Clearwater Beach Restoration Center and the library at 2191 Soul Road at no cost. Also allow parking within Duke's right-of-way at the Carpenter Complex and the Daycare Ballpark. They will maintain adequate stock of electrical equipment for city manager designated critical time-sensitive projects, provide some assurances of process related to the ADA, have a vegetation management plan, and will appear annually to provide information on resiliency plans within the city. So I believe Duke also wants to make a presentation at this time.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. Katie Cole with law firm of Hillward Henderson, representing Duke Energy Florida. We are really happy to be here this afternoon with Melissa Satius, the president of Duke Energy Florida. We do have a quick PowerPoint we'd like to share with you. I think it's up here. So Melissa's going to come up and share with you. We just wanted to be available if you had any specific questions. We can't say thank you enough to the staff and your team and each of you for working with Duke and its representatives over the course of the past several months to bring you this contract and this franchise agreement, which we think is beneficial to both the city and Duke and meets the needs that you all have expressed through this time period. So with that, I'll hand it over to Melissa.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I can't tell you how pleased I am to be standing here with you this afternoon. So much thanks to you, Mayor, and council members for the service that you provide the city of Clearwater every day, neighborhoods, businesses, tourists who come to visit and enjoy Ruth Eckerd Hall and the Sound and so many other beautiful aspects of here in Clearwater. We recognize that you all put thoughtful consideration into every decision that you make every day. It's evident in every city council meeting that you come to, even today with the thoughtful questions that are presented. And we know that you all gave careful consideration to the franchise agreement and to the memorandum of agreement. And I especially am grateful for the willingness of the council members and certainly for the city staff, the city attorney, the assistant city attorney, and of course, our city manager and assistant city manager and the city attorney, economic development as well, to sit down and give us more insight into what is important around the priorities for the city of Clearwater. That allowed us, I think, in many ways to figure out what is the best way to move forward together. And in those times of having the one-on-ones with each one of you, it really has given us this insight. And so the memorandum that the attorney just went over really is the product of a lot of input from all of you. So we're very, very appreciative of that. And truly, this is not just a utility agreement. I mean, the core, the foundation for us moving together to serve the city and the citizens of Clearwater really is the foundational aspect of the relationship. And so again, we are incredibly grateful and appreciate the opportunity to go over just 2 quick slides that just kind of summarize what the city attorney just covered. So the first one highlights, and hopefully it will pop up there.
Just hit the keyboard. You got to hit.
Okay. This is where my vulnerability, just anything?
There you go.
Look at me. Okay, there you go. I'm good at a lot of things. Technology is not one of them. So just a few things that I want to highlight. As I said, the city attorney kind of went through this. And what we did is, what I'm going to highlight are the things that are kind of, you can think of them as kind of incremental value. And then also the core fundamental things and services and programs that we have provided to the city of Clearwater and citizens for decades and will continue to do so. Resiliency. We know resiliency casts, it's a wide net, right? There's a big definition there. And we understand that there are priorities around resiliency for the city that go well beyond energy, and we want to be able to provide support for those efforts. And then all of that, of course, creates the foundation for our ability to respond to storms and to do this together. So we have a very strong history of working together in preparation for storms and working together throughout storms, but we have kind of reinforced and clarified how we will do that in this memorandum of agreement. A core theme that you'll hear kind of throughout, or you'll see in the memorandum and then also in the franchise agreement, really is around economic development and economic vitality for the city of Clearwater. It's such an extraordinary place, and all of you have the aspirational vision to make it even greater than it is. So that is why you will see the common theme of economic development investments throughout the memorandum of agreement. And of course, on city beautification, this is a great example of how sitting down together with all of you have allowed us to kind of hone in on what was important for all of you. Tree canopy, of course, and then, of course, providing some shade opportunity in important gathering places here in the city of Clearwater. So we're thrilled about these opportunities. They're all an investment in our customers, and our customers are your citizens. And as I always say, we have much more in common than whatever separates us, which is why, again, we are so thrilled to be here. On the next slide, these are just the kind of ongoing benefits that the city of Clearwater will enjoy along with our customers. And if you'll go to the next slide, am I responsible for going to the next slide? Oh, there we go. Okay, same keyboard as everybody else has. All right. System resiliency investments. This is core to what Duke Energy does for our customers. And it is something we've really talked a lot about with all of the council members. So Duke Energy, over the next 10 years, we had already had this plan, but I wanted to reinforce it. We have in our work plan now about $632 million that are planned for storm hardening and grid reinforcement, self-healing technology. In our annual update that we come back to you every year, we'll provide you a status on that. And of course, our teams work together every single day. So your administration will certainly know and be aware of where we are status-wise on various projects. Of course, as was mentioned, we continue to get the franchise fee and pass that along to the city. So it's kind of that risk-free revenue along with the municipal utility tax and, of course, what Duke Energy pays as far as property tax. So those revenue streams, of course, will remain for the city, which are critically important for all the other services that you all provide. And for our customer programs, it's really astounding. 75% of customers in Clearwater use some type of program or service from Duke Energy that allows them to save costs on their electricity. And since in 2025 alone, customers saved about $6.5 million on their energy usage by participating in these programs and services. And I'm really thrilled to share that just this past, in the past year, while we have been negotiating, but we have a long a program called the Neighborhood Energy Saver Program. We launched one here in Clearwater, and I'm thrilled to say that about 600 customers who participated just from the beginning of the year through May have saved about $3.1 million in energy usage. And a lot of that has to do with making small tweaks, changes in homes. So it is our job to ensure that we're communicating that to customers, educating customers, and that we do that in partnership with all of you. And I know all of you have had various interactions with our employees. We have a lot of employees who live here in the city of Clearwater. This is their home, a lot of them born and raised. We have a lot of retirees here as well. So those employees are standing by, as always, committed to continue serving the city of Clearwater, whether blue sky, whether storms, night or day. And of course, we've heard from some of the amazing work that's being done on the community side here in Clearwater. This is such a tradition that you all have and set the example for so many other communities. And these community partners, these nonprofit organizations, they're the same ones that Duke Energy has had the privilege of serving for many, many years. And we will continue to do that. And in fact, I think there's many new opportunities for us to look at as we move forward and have people who live here, call Clearwater home, enjoy those amenities and those services, and of course the millions of customers or millions of tourists who come and visit Clearwater on an annual basis. So I went through that quickly, but just wanted to hit those highlights. Happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions on this agenda item from council?
Last one, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Not to put you on the spot, but I have a question for you. Tell me, why is it in the city of Clearwater, the taxpayers' best interest to do a longer term, like 30 years versus 15 or 20 or, because I've heard a handful of different answers.
Sure. I think a lot of it has to do with continuity. As you heard in the city attorney's review of the memorandum of agreement, you can see that there are investments that we were making through the length of the agreement, and I think it allows us to invest more in many ways, having that longer-term investment.
I agree. Stability.
Stability.
Thank you. Didn't want to put you on the spot. But
no problem.
I think we're
Thank you
probably
for the
going to be a
question.
little hesitant to have dual conversations today and turn around and have the same conversations on Thursday, but appreciate the presentation.
No, pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.
So, Councilmember Benino, we had outside counsel review the franchise agreement and memorandum of agreement, and he recommended a 30-year term as well.
Thank you.
I was just going to echo what Councilmember Menino ended on. I'm just saving my thoughts until Thursday.
Is that what we're agreeing to do? We're going to save our thoughts for Thursday?
It's our work session, so, any one of the five of us is free to share whatever.
I think I'd like to wait till Thursday because we're going to have public comment as well, and good to save everything for Thursday night.
Okay, well, thank you so much for the time to be with you today. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think, I think one thing before we get to Thursday night, just one thing I would say is I personally think we made the right decision in doing this study. We have gained so much information from doing this.
I agree.
I know unanimously we all agreed to do it, so regardless of where we land on it Thursday, we've gathered some incredible information, educated ourselves on electric utility service here in Clearwater in our city, and so we've gained considerable information. So with that, I'll reserve my comments for Thursday night as well. But I did want to say that is this process of looking at it has been incredibly valuable to our city, regardless of what path we choose going forward. So with that, we'll move to item 3.2 on the agenda.
So 3.2 is adopt ordinance 9909-26 on the second reading, which amends Chapter 30, traffic and motor vehicles to modernize parking operations, update enforcement procedures, and revise related fees. It's the second reading. I don't have any new information to share.
Third reading.
Okay, any questions about this?
Third reading.
That will move to agenda item 3.3.
Council, item 3.3, it's adopt ordinance 9888-26 on the third reading, vacating city right-of-way alley drainage and utility easements. It's subdivision Plat Book 9, page 43, the abutting Bayview Terrace subdivision. This is set for a third reading. By way of review, council approved this ordinance on the first reading on April the 23rd and the second reading on May the 7th. But due to the second reading not being properly noticed, it's necessary to have a third reading for this item. I believe that there is somebody from Public Works to talk about a change as to the areas that are going to be vacated.
Again, good afternoon, Mayor. Robert Kazmer, Public Works Engineering, Real Estate. The item before you today is actually for the proposed third reading for a presentation made on, April 23rd by the Alderman's Pouget to vacate city right-of-way, an unimproved alley, and a drainage easement as well. Following that presentation, the applicant paused its efforts to revise and respond to questions. On July 6th, the applicant requested Tennessee Avenue be removed from the proposed vacation. That was presented to legal, it was approved. Therefore, we're moving forward again. Again, today is going to be the third reading for this vacation effect. There was an error found this morning in an aerial drawing that has been corrected and is being corrected by the applicant that will be updated into Legistar. And then again, we'll be moving forward again this Thursday. Public Works supports this vacation, supports this continued effort. And any questions you may have, please.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda? If none,
If I can just clarify that, so there were several right-of-ways that were set to be vacated. There is one on Tennessee Avenue that if you look at an overhead, it runs east and west over the north part of the property. The applicant is withdrawing the request to vacate all of Tennessee Avenue, including a portion that's over Bayview. And there will be an updated exhibit for the council packet on Thursday.
okay. Very good. Okay.
Joe?
So this little portion here that they're talking about, Tennessee Avenue's been removed, and then the amendment that the attorney's talking about will involve this little area right here. This is your previous exhibit from your previous review, where you can see where Tennessee was included. So that gives you just a visual.
Looks like the new one's posted already. I'm looking at it now, so, yeah.
That was just a little area in question there, so.
The error was found in this
Got it.
portion.
Got it, I see. it.
As Tennessee crossed over Bay, that could not be vacated since it was no longer part of the application. So Bay Street will actually, on the southern border of Tennessee, that will be the stopping point.
Got it.
Whereas before it was continued over, but again, none of this was being removed, so therefore the land couldn't be transferred over to them.
Okay. Very good. Okay, any questions? Thank you. With that, move to agenda item 3.4.
So Council, 3.4 to 3.6, they are ordinances relating to annexations. It's the same situation as the previous item. There was a first reading on April the 23rd, a second reading on May the 7th, and the second reading was not properly noticed, so we're coming back for third reading for items 3.4 to 3.6.
Okay, any questions on 3.4, 5, and 6? No? Move to agenda item 4.1.
Approve a tentative millage rate of 5.850 mils for fiscal year 2026-27 and set public hearing dates on the budget for September 15, 2026 and September 21, 2026 at 6 p.m.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I want to introduce our Budget Director, Kayleen Castell, but before she gets started, just wanted to remind you all the budget conversations that we've had starting back at the beginning of the year when we had our strategic planning session. That is what gave us the guidance to move forward with what we are presenting today. And as discussed several times in our one-on-ones, we will be doing a public engagement meeting surrounding the budget on August 1st, and then we have our first special budget work session on August 11th, in addition to the formal hearings that Rosemary Call just stated in September. So with that, I will turn it over to Kayleen.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Kayleen Castle, Budget Director. So we're pleased to present you, as Jennifer just said, the fiscal year 27 proposed operating and capital improvement budget. We posted the digital budget as well as a full PDF version of that document on our website on June 30th. At Thursday night's council meeting, I'll share a full presentation to walk you through key highlights of the budget proposal for the benefit of residents present and watching. The action requested of you this week is to set the tentative millage rate proposed at 5.885 mils, which is the same as the current year, and also to formally set public hearing dates in September. And these are already scheduled on the council calendar as special budget meetings in September. So this is just to formalize that, because all of this information will need to be provided to the Pinellas County Property Appraiser's Office to be included in trim notices mailed to our residents in August. We have a special budget work session scheduled for you on August 11th, and that will be the time for you to fully discuss this proposed budget, and all departments will be represented at that time. If there are certain topics you'd like covered at that special meeting, please let the city manager know as soon as possible so we have time to prepare that agenda appropriately. I'd be happy to answer any other questions you have on this.
Okay, any questions regarding this agenda item? Vice Mayor.
This is no shock to the city manager during our one-on-ones. Kayleen, thank you so much for the work that you've done with this too, and I don't think it's a shock to anybody, especially with the strategic budget meetings that we did have, but I'm still of the mindset of hitting a rollback rate. So I just want everybody to, you're not in my one-on-ones every week, but understand that going into Thursday, very well may be a 4-1 on that, so happy to discuss.
I think the our challenge with considering a rollback, and I'd love to, and really, I think you and I were on the same page last year after we approved our millage to try to get us to the possibility of that, at least look at what we could do. But I think, number one, we had our property tax valuations came in at about 2.5%, where we had been budgeting or estimating 4%. So we're already, adjusting for that. And then this homestead exemption that's on the ballot could be a significant. And we won't have the opportunity under the current law to consider, any change in our millage rate to adjust it back to what it is now if we did roll it back now. So I think that although I'd love to do it, I think that the tax relief that folks are looking for full-time residents, that's on the ballot, really. Now it's out of our hands for the voters to decide in November. And so personally for me, I would like to see us, although I would love to have roll the millage back, I just think it's challenging for us to do that until we know what the voters will decide to do to give themselves potentially some tax relief in November. So that's my thought. I don't know if anybody else has anything else they want to share on that.
Yeah,
Vice Mayor?
So I don't disagree with those, but I think that we're finding ourselves in the situation that we are in November because not necessarily Clearwater, so please nobody in the audience take offense to any of this, but because of other municipalities maybe living high on the hog, the state is now taking the reins, if you will, to let voters make the decisions because we haven't in the past. So listen, I completely understand, and I even noted it in our strategic budget meeting that this could be looming. And listen, I mean, I've already had those tough conversations and trying to look at different budgets to prepare for what may happen. But I'm still going to stand on the principle of I've wanted to hit a rollback, and that's where I'm going to be going with this forward. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Councilmember Teixeira?
This kind of reminds me of that library conversation, right? As much as it kills me, I know it's the right decision. This is what I feel is the same thing. As much as I would love to have a rollback as well, the risk and the environment that we're facing right now does not allow me to make that decision in comfort. And so just like, I had to accept the new reality for the library, that's the same thing here. We're facing a lot of risk, a lot of questions, and to do a rollback, to me, will put us at risk. And so I would not be in support of a rollback.
And I'm some of what I'm concerned about too is I mean, it's not just things that folks might see as luxury activities or programs. We'll have to take a hard look at a lot. And certainly, we did a strategic planning session where none of us wanted to impact essential services, fire, police, streets and roads, those things that people expect from local government. But I'm not exactly sure how the homestead exemption bill referendum, if it passes, what impact we might see citywide on some other things that folks care about. So for me, that will be an adjustment enough. And then not knowing what, this year came in flat, but 2.5%. And I heard on the news last night where that increases in real property values across the United States are not expected to outpace inflation over the next year or two, at least the next year. So, unfortunately for us, the cost of paying our great staff and keeping folks in work, that's sensitive to the inflation rate. And so if our property values are not rising to keep pace with the inflation rate, then we have some challenges. And it's, proactively before we see what we're going to, what the voters decide. I don't want to see us be making decisions here on the millage rate that impact the quality of life that I think most of our citizens enjoy. We like having a nice city. We like having clean places. We like having nice parks and clean places. And so I personally think, and we'll have a chance to say more on Thursday night, but personally think that we need to be careful, at least temporarily, on the millage rate because of those reasons. Although I do support keeping the taxes as low as we possibly can for our taxpayers. Okay, all right. If nothing else, then we'll move to the next item, which is, so I'm at 4.2. I'm on the wrong page, that's why I don't see it. 5.1, excuse me, 5.1.
Appoint 10 members to the 2026 Affordable Housing Advisory Committee.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. My name is Dylan May. I'm the housing manager. Florida Statute 420.9076 requires local governments that receive State Housing Initiative Partnership, or SHIP funding, to annually establish an Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. We call that AHAC. The committee is responsible for reviewing the city's housing policies, land development regulations, ordinances, and comprehensive plan, and it also recommends strategies that encourage the development and preservation of affordable housing. The proposed committee before you consists of 10 members representing the statutory categories, and that includes banking, home building, affordable housing, employers, planning, essential services, a Clearwater resident, and a locally elected official. Once appointed, the AHAC will begin preparing the city's local housing incentive strategy, another acronym LHIS, which is required to be submitted to council by December 31st, 2026. The LHIS will establish the city's vision, strategic priorities, and recommended policy and regulatory changes to help facilitate affordable housing opportunities throughout Clearwater. Staff recommends approval of the proposed appointments to the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee so the committee can begin its work and ensure the city remains in compliance with SHIP program requirements. With that, I'm happy to address any questions.
Any questions regarding this agenda item? Nope. Okay. We'll move to item, thank you. We'll move to item 5.2 then.
Declare a surplus certain real property located at 103 Northeast Avenue. Approve the transfer of said property to the City of Clearwater Community Redevelopment Agency.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, City Manager, Assistant City Managers, other respected members of the dais. Chris Edwards, Economic Development and Housing Director. Today's action is an administrative step that declares current city-owned property located at 103 Northeast Avenue as surplus and transfers that property to the Clearwater CRA. This transfer allows CRA to strategically manage and market the property for future redevelopment that supports downtown revitalization, expands the tax and economic base, as well as advances the goals of the downtown community redevelopment area. And then on your screen, you have just a quick aerial of the property that we're looking to transfer, and I stand ready to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions on this agenda item? Okay. If not, then thank you. Move to item 6.1.
Authorize purchase orders to J.B. Edwards, Solstein LLC, doing business as Big T Printing, and Young Guns Embroidery, Inc. for citywide custom apparel services.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. Art Cater, Parks and Recreation Director. The item for you today is the purchase of custom apparel and related customized services that are used citywide. Sounds pretty fancy, but most of these are T-shirts. But anyways, they're customized T-shirts. The services will include uniforms, screen printing of T-shirts, embroidery, patches, high visibility apparel, and other branded clothing items throughout the city. The Parks and Rec Department uses these primarily, as I said, for T-shirts, for the volunteer programs, for athletic tournaments, special events, and for camps that we have. Staff is recommending multiple vendors for this contract to meet the various needs of all the departments citywide. By doing so, we will have product availability, we'll be able to have competitive pricing, and the vendors will be responsible. If one doesn't have that shirt, you can go to another vendor. It saves us a lot on times when we cannot get those products. Pricing is based on a percentage discount from the manufacturer's suggested retail price and/or their vendor catalog pricing. Contract is for 1 year with 4 one-year renewable options available. The annual expenditure is estimated to be $385,000. With that, I'll answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda? If not, do we have consent?
Yep.
We have consent on it. 6.1. Thank you, Mr. Cater. Agenda item 7.1.
Approve a work order to Advanced Engineering and Design, Inc. of Pinellas Park to provide building design and permitting services for the seawall repairs project.
Good afternoon, Mayor and members of council. I'm Nate Josephic with Public Works Engineering. To officially implement repairs, the city is establishing an annual seawall repair and replacement contract based on a citywide seawall inspection program that will allow repairs to be completed based on priority, available funding, and asset condition. Advanced Engineering and Design was selected to prepare the annual contract package, including construction details, technical specifications, bid quantities, and bidding support services. Public Works anticipates bringing a construction contract award recommendation to City Council in early 2027. And establishing this annual contract will provide the city with a proactive and efficient mechanism to address seawall repairs, improve resilience, and maximize the value of public infrastructure investments. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on this agenda item? If not, do we have consent? We have consent on 7.1. Thank you. Agenda item 7.2.
Award a construction contract to Keystone Excavators of Oldsmar, Florida for the 2026 Under Drain Improvement Project.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council members, and esteemed staff. Ed Wilmus with the Stormwater Division of Public Works. As you've heard just read, we are hoping to get your consent to award a construction contract to Keystone Excavators for the replacement of under drains citywide. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda item? Okay. If not, do we have consent? We have consent on 7.2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 7.3.
Approve a purchase order to Temple Inc. for rectangular rapid flashing beacon systems.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm Anna Holland, Transportation Division Manager for Public Works. This item authorizes the purchase of RRFB systems and has pedestrian lighting and related equipment to improve pedestrian crossings on Clearwater Beach and Sandkey. The improvements will be installed at 9 crossing locations along Gulfview Boulevard, Coronado Drive, and Gulf Boulevard to increase pedestrian visibility, improve illumination, and improve driver awareness. The project is eligible for reimbursement through Gulf Boulevard beautification, pennies for interlocal agreement with up to $147,000 remaining available for reimbursement. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda?
I do have a question.
Yep.
Is this for a specific area for these crosswalks?
There are 9 crossing locations. There's an exhibit, but I can go through and read
It's
which
okay.
one they
I
are.
must have missed it. I'll go through it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Do we have consent? We have consent on 7.3. Agenda item 7.4.
Approve temporary right of entry agreement with CSX Transportation requiring indemnification support of the new City Hall project.
Thank you, Ms. Call. Good afternoon, Mayor. Tara Kivett, Engineering Public Works. This agreement is required by CSX. It will allow the city's contractor to construct new curb right along the eastern edge of the CSX easement on East Avenue, and that is abutting the west side of the proposed new City Hall project. This agreement requires council approval due to the indemnification clause. We expect that the site work for City Hall will be complete by end of August, followed by move-in of city staff through September. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions on this one? Nope. Do we have consent? We have consent on agenda item 7.4. Thank you. Agenda item 8.1.
Authorize purchase orders to multiple vendors for vehicle and equipment repair, maintenance, and collision services.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, City Leadership. Brandy Calandrea, Director of General Services. I have here with me our Fleet Division Manager, AJ Davis. Together, General Services is requesting authorization to award invitation to bid 26-27 to multiple vendors for vehicle and equipment repair, maintenance, and collision services. The city operates a diverse fleet that supports public safety, public works, public utilities, and other essential city services. Having multiple qualified vendors gives us the flexibility to assign work based on the type of repairs needed, vendor expertise, and availability, all in the hopes of reducing vehicle downtime and keep city operations moving. The total authorized request is a not-to-exceed amount of $5 million over a potential 5-year term, with funding subject to annual budget processes. We are available should you have any questions or concerns.
Any questions on agenda item 8.1? Okay. Now, do we have consent? We have consent on 8.1. Thank you. Agenda item 9.1.
Approve an indemnification and hold harmless agreement between the City of Pinellas Park in capacity as agent of the owner of the premises known as Pinellas Park Fire Training Facility.
Mr. Mayor, Council, good evening, or good afternoon. Chad Pittman, Fire Chief. The City of Pinellas Park and Clearwater Fire and Rescue propose a cooperative agreement allowing Clearwater Fire and Rescue firefighters to use the Pinellas Park Fire Training Ground through December 31st of 2027. The facility provides live fire and structural firefighting training opportunities in a different training environment for our members. Under the agreement, Clearwater Fire and Rescue will repair or replace any damage caused by its personnel and will indemnify and hold harmless the City of Pinellas Park for liabilities arising from its use of the facility. The agreement preserves sovereign immunity protections under the Florida statutes and has no associated cost. Approval also authorizes the city manager to execute this agreement and future training agreements of similar nature. I'm available for questions.
Okay. Questions on this agenda item? Okay. If not, do we have consent? Yes. We have consent on 9.1. Thank you. Agenda item 10.1.
Provide direction on the proposed development agreement between MHG Palm Pavilion Hotel, Six Flag Planted LLC, and the City of Clearwater for property located at 10 Bay Esplanade and 18 Bay Esplanade.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. If this looks familiar, we've been looked at this in May and June. For re-notification purposes, we're back at the starting point. So just for clarification, before I go over the quick summary, that nothing has changed from what we saw last time. So the site summary, if you recall, it's 1.06 acres, west side of the property to remain, which is the existing restaurant, east side with demolition and new improvements. It's in the tourist district, resort facilities, high future land use, Old Florida district of beach by design. Permitted density is 50 units per acre or 53 units. Additional 91 units which are requested today from the hotel density reserve, total of 144 units at 136 units per acre, 75 feet in height, parking on the first 4 levels, and from the 5th to 9th levels will be part of the hotel. Amenities include existing 9389 square foot restaurant that I discussed. There will be a small swimming pool on the 5th floor, and the site will be accessed from the north and the south from the adjacent streets through a parking garage. The project or proposal in the conceptual is consistent with the Community Development Code, consistent with beach by design, and standards for development agreements. It's in compliance with the standards of development agreements, is consistent with the comprehensive plan, and furthers the vision of beach redevelopment set forth in beach by design. And again, this is a direction for which would occur in August. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda item? Okay, Vice Mayor?
I don't have any questions. Thank you. Just more of a discussion with this, and Mr. Mayor, Mr. Albritton, you guys can attest to this more than I can. But seeing what the temperature is for, I like the project, I have no problems with the project moving forward after the review, but maybe taking a pause and pausing the distribution of the remaining hotel room density pool reserve until we complete the traffic study, kind of solve our traffic solution, or at least make it better before we continue to maybe ponder future allocations of those hotel rooms.
So when is the traffic study going to be completed?
I don't have the information in front of me, but I believe it's ongoing, but they're debating right behind me.
I did not mean to throw everybody for the...
I hate to share my anecdotal experience, which may or may not be, consistent, and I'm sure Councilmember Albritton might share the same, but I agree with you that probably that having the study in before, because that is I'm sure we've all received similar feedback, that has been probably the predominant concern of the residents is traffic impacts, so.
Good afternoon again, Mayor, council members, Marcus Williamson, Public Works, and Lauren's up here also. So we've got the two different studies that are kind of going on right now. So we're looking at the marina parking garage. So we paused the overall just briefly to evaluate a couple of concepts with the marina parking garage, and then that's coming forward in the larger also. So November-ish will be the,
it's my turn. Hi. Good afternoon, Lauren Matzke, Planning and Development, and I have not had the opportunity to speak with Assistant City Manager Battle on this. It was a conversation actually today, because the proposed schedule would be to try to be wrapping this up around November. Planning and Development's concern would be trying to do any related outreach around the holidays. Typically, we try to avoid public outreach between November and December, since people's schedules are pretty full anyway, but also understanding that timing with the appropriate delay that we took to work on the garage piece kind of complicates things and pushed it out into the winter months. So with the different outreach projects that we have going on, that was something that we had wanted to discuss.
And if I just, so the reason for a little bit of that delay was there were some pretty innovative ideas coming out of what we might be able to do with that parking garage. So the consultant basically was saying, I'd like to take a turn or two on that and then get back. So we're letting him take that turn or two on ideas.
The parking, right, we mean the parking at the that's part of the hotel development. Right?
So it's the marina parking garage out. So
I'm not sure how that impacts a hotel in North Beach.
Because of the traffic flow.
Yeah. Yes, correct.
More specific about the project, but they're talking about traffic capacity for the beach in general.
Correct.
Correct. So,
which is essentially what I was alluding to, if to make that clear as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
Not just
next to
around
the
that
subject
area.
property.
No, sir, I meant the entire, to wait for this study to come all the way through, which, if you don't mind, thank you for that. I was anticipating it being more middle of next year, so that's great news, that it may be around November. I understand there can be tentative delays. Thank you.
Councilman Albritton.
Okay, so this is just for the allocation of density units. This is not for the project itself, correct?
Correct. This is to start the ball rolling to get the dedication of the units. Otherwise, it's just 53 units would be allowed.
So, I mean, we've got to go through this whole process of planning, has to review the project, and that's got to come back as to us as a, does that come back to us?
It does not. It goes through the Community Development Board is the
CDB, okay. Goes to CDB, but it won't be going to CDB till when, do you think?
They haven't submitted for the FLD.
Right. So we got a while, and that they're going to require a traffic study for that. So let's say the traffic study comes back and says too much traffic for this development. then it would not move forward, and then they'd have to release the density units. Is that correct?
Well, the units, right now, we have approximately 110 in the reserve. 91 of these would, so it would go down to, I guess the math is 19 remaining. So right now, we have 110 in the reserve.
Well, I'm just saying that somebody just doesn't hold density units unless they're thinking about it. If they can't do the project for that many units,
Correct.
somebody else comes up with
Someone
a
else.
project, they'll probably, because they float around. I mean,
It's
they're
a
all over the
living,
place.
breathing, with all the pending projects, any one of them could potentially, rescind themselves or change their mind. And we have currently one that went through DRC a couple weeks ago that they've asked for some hotel units as well. So as what we're discussing here would also impact them. But it's, again, what you said, it has to go through Community Development Board for this project.
Right, for the whole project approval, and that's when all the studies come out, if it's a project that can move forward. So I'm just saying, the allocation of density units in this really doesn't move the needle until the project is.
So I'm tying it, move this project forward. The project is good in my eyes, and depending on what the rest of the board here decides. But in my eyes, I like the Palm Pavilion project, is what I'm saying. In addition to that, then putting a pause on any other allocation to the 19 remaining units in the pool until we get the overarching traffic study completed to see how to move people.
Oh.
That's maybe the clarification that I
Okay.
didn't relay the
All right.
first time.
I think that's certainly our prerogative, at the time they're proposed.
Thank you. Yeah, I thank you for that clarification, because I was a little bit confused there, because there has been a current traffic and impact study done on this exact project that we're discussing, and that's already been completed. Acceptable levels of services, both with or without anticipated project traffic. But I do recognize what you say is beyond this project and beyond Thursday's approval or not of this project, if there are 19 unallocated units in the density pool, should we have a deeper discussion thrown on an agenda to talk about what big picture looks like moving forward of allocating any more out of that outside of this project? And I would be open to having those discussions.
For sure. Well, I mean, I am going to look to probably add that into a motion, if I'm being honest with you guys, right? That's why we're having the discussion now, and that is just to put that pause. I mean, until November, December, maybe even January, or after the holidays, whenever the traffic study does come to completion. And we've got more knowledge on how to move people from the mainland to the beach and then disperse them from north to south beach and wherever they're trying to go efficiently and effectively. I think that'll also help future developers in knowing what they can do with the allocated hotel rooms and the resort from there with the new traffic proposals.
So there are only 19 unallocated?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I appreciate, we're beach resident, been a beach resident for a long time, so I appreciate as much as, anybody, the sensitivity to beach traffic. The biggest challenge we have, and we're doing a study on it with Fort Pinellas, is traffic patterns between the roundabout and Sandkey Bridge. That's the biggest bottleneck. I can tell you from having more of a personal experience with north side, it pales in comparison to the challenges between the roundabout and Sandkey Bridge. It's just, we've added so many rooms, but they are already there. They're built and or allocated. So I don't know that, another 19 units is really going to move the needle much on how many people are coming across the causeway to get out to the beach. I think the traffic pattern, it's maybe too late, but we can hopefully improve that pattern between Roundabout and Sandkey Bridge, but that's the biggest area where I think we need to look at it. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm not sure how many 19 units, how much difference it's going to make if we allocate those or not.
I agree with you, and maybe you can speak to this as well, but for those projects that are still on the beach, say for whatever reason those fell through, those rooms would then come back into the hotel density reserve, or if they were given up.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying just overall, put a pause on until we figure out what our solution is for traffic movement, and then make an educated decision, and then even it could help developers, and seeing as how it could be, within the next first quarter of 2027. Again, I just think that it might be a wise decision. And it wasn't just towards the 19, because what is 19 units in the grand scheme of things? It was in case anything else does fall through, that, hey, before we get another awesome project that could potentially put more people on South Beach or something like that, that we have a better understanding of what we're going to do with our people and the mobility of the beach.
So, Clerk, you have
Council members, because in order for you to place a moratorium, putting a pause, it would require it to come back to council at a future date in the form of a resolution. Right now, until then, anything that's in the mix, and Ms. Matsky can correct me, the city would be obligated to uphold. So if that is a direction that you want a future discussion, or to direct the city attorney to draft a resolution for future consideration, please provide that direction.
Okay, so two things. First, as we talk, I really do believe we need further clarification. On Thursday, we will be voting whether to allocate those rooms to this project or not. That is the question before us, right? So even if we do a moratorium, it will not affect this project because it's already in progress. And that is just the first of many steps that they have to go through. Okay. Now, this agenda item, like so many others when it comes to the beach, has, started a bunch of conversations where I have with several people, and there's a lot of confusion, misconceptions about beach by design. And so I was thinking that we should start off, before having that discussion, having a presentation where, in layman's terms, just on the record, explain it. Because the perceptions out there are like all over the gamut. And I don't think there's an understanding of what beach by design is in terms of infrastructure, when it was designed, and what it considers, and why there's an allocation. Honestly, the people that are concerned do not have a full understanding of it. So I'm thinking, before we have that discussion, let's start off at ground zero and have a presentation, I hope, if everybody agrees, where you can explain the beach by design, at least on record. So if I get those calls, which are many, I'll just go to that July meeting, it's all there. You know what I mean? Versus me trying to explain all the time the same thing over and over again. Would that be something that my colleagues would be interested in directing staff to do?
Well, I think it might be helpful for the public to kind of understand that a little better, to have a little refresher for the public on it. I don't think, generally, talking with citizens concerned over not just things on the beach, but in general, that they don't, that the average citizen doesn't understand the comprehensive planning process, why that's important, why we have a comprehensive plan, why we, it's to not only have some community agreement on how we want to develop our city, but it's also to give developers some reliance and some certainty as to what they can and can't do and where they can and can't do it. So, every time, in every community I've been in over the years, when that comprehensive plan comes up for review, there's all this public engagement, and you try to get the public involved and get their thoughts at the time before you adopt it, but it's only usually after the fact, when a project comes up, that they don't like, that they, that now, oh, wow, we approved what, that's within this zone or not that zone. So that's the challenge. I think it may be helpful for the public to just kind of understand what we adopted as a plan, what we did, beach by design, and all these other things that I wouldn't say our hands are completely tied on, but that we maybe have committed to offer developers the opportunity to give some certainty in what they can and can't invest in and build. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't put a lot of staff time into it,
Right.
but I wouldn't
Just
be opposed to it.
Layman's terms, in a concise way, because some of the questions I'm being asked are so, like, you have 91 rooms, well, did you consider, how much sewage that's going to take? And why did you come up with that number? And so there's a lot of, even basic understanding is missing. So I'm not asking for an intensive presentation, just something concise and in layman's terms that we can just start from ground zero, because some of the questions I ask shows very clearly that there's misunderstandings out there.
Including the fact that 1,385 of these hotel units in the reserve were part of the density which was assessed at the time, including and up into the 2013 update on page 54 of the document. So just happen to have it here.
If you talk to folks who were on the city council back when they decided beach by design and all that, some would, in hindsight, look back and say, well, maybe we did allocate too many at the time, but the reality is we allocated them. So to go back in hindsight and redo, get a do-over, unfortunately, you don't get a do-over on some things, and so this may be one where we don't. But to your point, I think, how do we manage it now that have what we have? That's the challenge for us. And so I'm not opposed to that kind of presentation. Just a reminder to us and to the community of what we can and can't do based upon what we've already agreed to do. Councilmember Menino?
Mayor, thank you. I'd be up to hearing the presentation. I kind of feel like that ship has almost sailed. I mean, this plan was 2001, redone in 2013, and now we're 2026, and we're saying there's 19 units left. The questions I'm getting from the community, digging a little deeper, is looking for assurances of whether it's 19 units left or 400 plus that are allocated already. Can the roads hold it? Do we have the water infrastructure to support it? Does our sewer systems and underground systems, is this incorporated into our new consolidated water plan and master plan? Those are the deeper discussions of assurances that people are asking about this, not so much about what is beach by design. We can refer them to a document and to a website, but I think it's the overall questions of looking for those assurances of, tell me, can our roadways handle it? Do we have the water, the infrastructure? Can you flush all those toilets if we put 400 more units? What does this do to the stormwater project that we're approving down there? I think those are the greater questions, and that's a much larger discussion, I think, that's needed than a layman's terms of beach by design. Just my thoughts.
Okay. So what's our direction here?
Yeah, so that's two things. I don't necessarily think that you need to go back over everything. It would probably be a waste of time, if I'm being honest. I just don't know what the exact process would be. Do I need to bring it up under new business? Is that what we're kind of relaying?
You don't need to bring it up under new business, but if you want, as a body, to discuss the possibility of implementing a moratorium, I can schedule it for the next meeting. I just need that direction.
Yeah, I mean, again, moratorium pause is just until we get the traffic study of how we move people around, get that solution going, and then understand that, with the rest of the projects that are out there and the 19 that are already allocated, that we would be able to facilitate those people wherever the project could be in the future. I think that, if we wanted to get Public Works involved with giving an update on their infrastructure for the 30-year progress, from here forward, I guess you could do that. I know that we used to get the North Beach updates all the time.
Bring them back.
And we were constantly getting good feedback, right? So we're trending in the right direction. I don't necessarily know that I need that. We know that we need a lot of work out on the beach, and I know we'll get there when it does. My concern, again, is just mobility for primarily our residents, then our visitors, and maybe pausing future projects until we can figure out our traffic solution, which seems like it's coming up relatively soon. However I go about doing that.
It'll be on the next work session agenda as a council discussion item under your...
Perfect. Thank you.
And it's a pause on the allocation of units.
Correct.
What you're proposing. Oh,
If everybody's going to,
Not
we'll
on-
discuss it
not on-
in depth.
Not on projects. the
Correct.
allocation.
It's just the allocation of the current hotel density reserve.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Just-
Everybody else? Yeah.
Just
don't use that moratorium word, just say pause, okay?
Well, that's what I want to, yeah, I don't need to get into the weeds with resolutions and then having to claw back things, but you guys know better than I do.
I will let legal decide on what the final, if something were to be determined, what the final terminology will be used. How's that?
Perfect. Thank you all for appeasing me. I appreciate it.
And you're appeased.
Okay. I think we're good.
Thank you. Beat that one up long
Sure.
enough.
I think we provided more direction than what was asked for your questions.
For sure. That's why I said thank you.
But it's all good, it's all good. Move to agenda item 11.1.
Award a construction contract to JDS Pipe Inc. for the FDM HMGP lift station platforms project.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Item 10.1 was a great segue into this discussion here. I'm Mike Flanagan, Public Utilities Director. Today I'm requesting your award for a construction contract with JDS Pipe in the amount of $6,336,305.80 for a lift station platform project and approval time extension for FEMA Grant 4337-484R. This contract allows JDS, the lowest responsive bidder, to elevate critical systems of 7 coastal lift stations above the flood hazard elevations, mitigating the risk of power loss and sanitary sewer overflows during storms. Please note, while the current contract reflects a completion date December 31st, 2026, the grant deadline has been extended to March 31st, 2027, and staff intends to amend the agreement to reflect the updated date of completion. Establishing this contract aligns with our strategic priorities of high-performing government by maintaining public infrastructure and environmental stewardship by implementing proactive solutions for a resilient community. I'm happy to respond to any questions that you may have.
Okay. Any questions on this agenda? Okay. If not, do we have consent?
Yes.
We have consent on 11.1. 11.2.
Authorized purchase orders to Carolina Filters, Inc., Core and Main LP, and Harrington Industrial Plastics, LLC, for reverse osmosis plant cartridge filters.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. Mike Flanagan again. Today I'm requesting your authorization to issue purchase orders with the 3 aforenamed mentioned organizations for reverse osmosis plant cartridge filters in the annual not to exceed amount of $160,000. This action establishes primary and secondary vendor contracts for the period of July 17, 2026 through July 16, 2027, and it encompasses the necessary $29,994.12 preliminary purchase from Harrington Industrial Plastics to ensure uninterrupted production at our R02 facility. Securing these filters is essential to remove particulate matter from our source water, will protect sensitive plant membranes, and guarantee reliable pretreatment operations. Establishing this contract directly meets our strategic objective of high-performing government by providing critical water treatment components required to keep our systems running continuously and produce high-quality drinking water. I'm happy to respond to any questions that you may have.
Yeah. Any questions on this agenda item? If not, do we have consent?
Yep.
We have consent on 11.2. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're going to take a very short recess. time, we call the work session back to order and move to item 12.1.
Reappoint Robin Field to the Neighborhood and Affordable Housing Advisory Board as a citizen who is actively engaged in the banking mortgage industry in connection with affordable housing, with a term expiring January 31, 2030. Council members, Ms. Field completed her first term, and she is the only applicant on file with this specific qualification, and she's willing to continue on the board.
Okay.
May I place it on consent, or keep it on consent? Yes.
Do we have consent? We have consent on 12.1, okay. Move to item 12.2.
Appoint Todd St. John Fulton to the Neighborhood and Affordable Housing Advisory Board as a citizen who is actively engaged as a real estate professional in connection with affordable housing, with a term expiring July 16, 2030. Council members, Mr. Fox is no longer able to serve on the board due to work conflicts. And so the only applicant that we have with this specific category is Mr. St. John Fulton.
Okay.
No? Okay.
All right. And we have consent?
Yep.
We have consent on 12.2, 12.3.
Reappoint Kennard Robinson to the North Greenwood Community Redevelopment Area Citizens Advisory Committee as a resident representative for a term expiring September 30, 2028. Council members, Mr. Robinson was filling an unexpired term, and so he is willing to serve, and he's able to serve another term.
Okay. We have consent. We have consent on 12.3. 12.4.
Appoint Eleanor Nartker to the Sister Cities Advisory Board as a youth member with an unexpired term through October 31, 2028. This is for the youth member on the board, and I am glad to report, yet sad to say, that Mr. Yangara, she is going off to college and can no longer serve, so that's the reason why we have Ms. Nartker for your consideration.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Do we have consent? We have consent on 12.4, then 12.5.
Appoint Stephanie Chill to the Sister Cities Advisory Board as a resident with an arts education professional background with an unexpired term through October 31, 2027. Council members, Ms. Melinda Beacon, she had resigned, and so Ms. Stephanie Chill was in a different category, but she's able to fill this position.
Okay. Do we have consent?
Yep.
We have consent on Stephanie Chill. Agenda item 12.6.
Hold on a second here. Appoint Natasha Carrick to the Sister Cities Advisory Board as a Pinellas County Schools employee with an unexpired term through February 1, 2028. Council members, due to the recent budget cuts at the county level, the position, the World Language Specialist position, is no longer, they've eliminated the position. But we just happen to have Ms. Carrick, who has that background, and she lives within city limits and is also a Pinellas County employee who's able to serve in that position.
Okay. Do we have consent on this one? We have consent on 12.6. Thank you. 12.7.
Appoint an individual to the Sister Cities Advisory Board as a business community representative with an unexpired term through March 31, 2028. Council members, Mr. Kelly was serving on this board and as that community business representative. Unfortunately, he's no longer able to serve, but I do have two applicants who are willing to serve, and that is Cheryl Acton. She is a bookkeeper for Acton Arts LLC, and William Johnson, who is an accounting manager for the Sand Pearl Resort.
Okay. Councilmember Teixeira?
Well, I think they're both qualified, but for me, it just came down to what I believe Mr. Johnson's, William Johnson's unique perspective coming from the beach. He represents a different community, has a lot of contacts, and a lot of relationships, so I think he would be a great addition to the board.
Yep. Vice Mayor?
Yes, sir. Adversely, I saw that Cheryl had the extensive travel with Delta Airlines and thought that with her unique travel experience, that she would probably be pretty good. I mean, as we know, we just did the Sister Cities tour, and having people that are eloquent or well-versed in travel definitely helps. So I don't think it's anything against Mr. Johnson. He does have a very good resume. I just thought that stood out and it could be very helpful for our Sister Cities program.
Councilmember Menino?
Thank you. I also wrote down Cheryl Acton's name for very similar reasons. Her travel experience with Delta, she represents several community organizations and boards. She's also a graduate of our Citizens Academy and went through that, so that's kind of what caught my eye about Cheryl. But I think both are qualified and would do a great job.
Yeah, both qualified, both look good. I kind of agree with the background of Cheryl.
Can I add something? Reviewing the board, we already have representation of well-traveled, multilingual representatives. What we're missing is actually somebody from the beach with the business and tourism experience. That's why he got the edge.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the team as it is right now and what would be a missing gap, and that's why I went for, as well, Mr. William Johnson.
Yeah, I would share that viewpoint some. I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman from Visit St. Pete Clearwater a week or two ago, and he surveys throughout the entire county, not just Clearwater Beach. But so I talking with him at the marina, and so he's telling me about how much he enjoys his job and engaging folks. And I said, "What's the most surprising thing you learned?" He says, "Well, the most surprising thing I learned about Clearwater is how many international people I speak with when I'm surveying people out here on Clearwater Beach." I said, "What's surprising about that?" He says, "It's significantly more than anywhere else in the county, including all the other beaches, including St. Petersburg." So I do think there's that we may be missing, is just particularly with the Japanese population that visits here naturally. We are maybe missing that tourism input from our beach community. So if it's kind of an even thing, I would weigh more towards that. And Sand Pearl's a property that, certainly is one of the leaders out there in attracting that kind of international visitor. Those folks, you've probably seen the statistics. Those folks, particularly Asian tourists, at one time, an Asian tourist, the data would spend 8 times the amount on a visit to the county than an American tourist would spend here. So, and it's not just Japan, it's all folks from all over the world. And those of us out there a lot see that a lot too. It's not just this gentleman doing the surveys, but you see a lot of international tourists and a lot of Asian tourists too. So, it sounds like they're both about even, and so I would agree with Councilmember Teixeira that it'd be nice to have somebody from the tourism community on this commission.
Is there currently nobody on the Sister City Board that represents tourism? I don't see a team roster or what their backgrounds are or anything like that.
No, this is a specific rather qualification for the board in terms of the business community, local business community rep. And it was held by Mr. Kelly, but for obvious reasons, he had to resign.
So I would lean toward Mr. Johnson. I think. I don't know if others
I
feel
can bring
strongly
it
about
back
Ms.
on
Acton.
Thursday if council wishes.
I could go either way. I mean, I like your reasoning, but I didn't think about that before. It might be a better point.
Do we want to put it on for Thursday to talk about further? I guess we can invite both of them like we do other times to come.
I can ask them to come if you
attend
wish.
if they wanted to.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Okay,
does
let's put it on-
everybody else
Let's
feel?
put it on for Thursday.
But bring it back on Thursday?
I guess it'll be off consent then.
Okay. Do we want the applicants present or no?
Well, I think we normally invite them, right?
I can invite them.
Even if it's on consent.
All right.
For one candidate, we invite anybody who's applied to come, so.
Last item, designate a council member to serve as the city's official voting delegate at the Florida League of Cities Annual Conference, August 13th through the 15th. Council members, the city each year designates an individual to serve as the voting delegate for their actual business meeting that will be held this year on Saturday, August 15 at 9 a.m. The conference will be held at the Diplomat Beach Resort down in Hollywood, Florida, from the 13th through the 15th. And so I just need to have consensus in terms of who you wish to appoint so I can inform the organization who will be the voting delegate.
Yeah. So, I shared with you earlier when it came up on the agenda that I would like to attend this one. I'll be there one way or the other for the Florida League of Mayors meeting, which is like the Wednesday right before. Mayor Woody Brown of Largo is going to be president of the Florida League of Mayors next year, so I want to be there to support Mayor Brown. He'll be the first mayor from Pinellas County to be the president of the Florida League of Mayors. So to support Mayor Brown, I'd like to be there, or I will be there for that already. And then so for me to attend the rest of it on behalf of the city. Plus, it's been referenced earlier, there's an important issue on the November ballot that I'm sure will be discussed, and just to be there present for that and talk with other community leaders and other mayors throughout the state who are contemplating that, and I would like to attend myself. Now, that doesn't mean, we've sent one in the past, and if Councilmember Menino, I know that you have an interest in attending. I don't know that I don't think it would be a budget breaker if two of us went.
No, and that would really be up to, in terms of what the budget, the council's budget is, but more than one council member has attended in the past.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but yes, they have.
So, I've about run different other mayor's things I go to. I'm about through my budget. So my budget is, it'd have to come out of whatever we have allocated for this, the registration fee, so on and so forth. But, some cities, sometimes it's smaller cities, but some cities, their entire council attends these meetings. So I don't know we need to do that, but I think maybe we should consider more than just one attending, if there's interest.
I'm open to more the merrier. I'm the elected representative for this body for the last 2 years, the Suncoast League of Cities. Last year I was out of the country, could not be at the conference. Councilmember Cotton stepped up and went. I was our voting member. This is already taken out of my budget. My hotel's already booked. My registration's already done. Events are already scheduled on my calendar. I'll be there regardless. I'll also be appointed as the third vice president of the Suncoast League of Cities for our entire region. I will be not only nominated, but probably appointed that very same weekend. So I will be there, whether I'm the voting nomination or not, that doesn't bother me. So Mayor, if you want to be there and you feel the need, you're welcome to have that role, but I'm already scheduled to be there, so I will be there.
So when we designate, whoever we designate, it's a separate expense?
No,
Yeah.
It's just to
Still comes out of our
attend-
council budget?
It's just to attend the annual meeting
Okay.
that Saturday morning and to approve the slate of officers.
So that's
that
all
is
this is?
presented. That is
There's
it.
no budget or any
No,
allocation
that
attached to
is
this?
all to
Okay.
it.
Our meeting in the morning.
Okay.
And not even an hour. It's
Okay.
very efficient.
I'll be there Thursday morning through Sunday, so I will be there.
Well, I'm fine with Councilmember Menino that if there's no
If
budget
you wanted to,
attached, yeah.
if you want to join.
So who should we put as
The
The mayor's going to be there.
Councilmember
He can,
Menino?
if the mayor wants to be there, he's going to be there. He can be the voting member. I'm going to be there
How
regardless.
about
and it's-
this? I'll bring this back on Thursday because I need a motion anyway, so.
I'm fine with Councilmember Menino. I thought there was some budget attached to it.
No.
I thought the reason we were designating somebody to be a voting member was there was an allocation set forth or a budget.
No,
item set forward?
it's just to attend and to vote at that
Well,
one
that's-
meeting.
That's fine.
Yeah,
That's fine.
doesn't
You
matter.
wanna-
I don't
you
want
wanna
to
be
put council in that position of having to pick or flip a coin, so if you
If you want to
want,
be the voting member, that's fine.
I'm good either way, I'll be there, so.
Give me
Whether
some
I'm
flex-
voting or not, I'll be there.
But give me some flexibility on how long I stay if we did that, so
It's fair.
that'd be fine.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, with that, we go to item 13, city manager verbal reports.
Excuse me, did we bypass section 11?
Mr. Mayor, this is a work session, so, yeah, thank you. Be glad to talk with you after the meeting about the purpose of this meeting.
11.2.
We got
We went through it. We did it.
For the break.
Yeah. City manager?
Thank you. Yeah, so I just wanted to take a moment. I know that our team is not here, but especially with Parks and Rec, they did a phenomenal job as it relates to the programming and putting together a really exceptional 250th anniversary celebration for our community, and the way that they engaged our community and partnered with so many community members for them to have a part of it and make what the 4th of July was and that 250th anniversary. I just really wanted to thank them, and then, of course, all the other departments that helped pull that off, because it certainly is it's a team event. So wanted to thank them for that. And then also just do another plug for our community engagement event that is on August 1st. At Morningside, we do have it advertised on our website and are pushing it out. We just did a media release as well so that we can get lots of attendance and engagement in that meeting. Thank you.
Okay, item 14, city attorney.
Nothing else.
Okay, item 15, new business that we haven't already discussed, so. Nothing?
Cotton already added one.
You have something?
No, Cotton already added one.
The
Okay.
hotel thing.
Okay, all right. We'll move on to 16 then. Council comments. Anybody have any comments to add?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
Vice
just
Mayor?
do
Yeah.
a shout out to the big audience as well, that I think that our staff, Rudy, for you, thank you for still being here. I think that all staff for the July 3rd, 4th, unfortunately I wasn't able to be there for the 4th, but at least the 3rd, you guys did a stellar job. Thank you very much for being able to allow us to celebrate our 250th anniversary of this nation. It was fantastic, and kudos off to you guys and the whole team. So thank you.
Okay, any other comments? Okay. Moved to item 17, just to add on to that, it was fantastic. I thought particular and, great was, they had I called it the world's largest America 250 table tennis tournament, because we may have been the only ones in the world hosting a table tennis tournament that day. We had, I guess he regularly practices and plays out at the Long Center, but gentleman, and I'm not sure if he lives in Clearwater or not, but he lives here locally, but he's ranked in the top 50 in the world in table tennis. And so the director who out there, I said, before I was calling it table tennis, he said, "Don't call it ping pong when you're trying." I said, "Why?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, they're very sensitive to that. It's table tennis." And then he says, which I'm not exactly sure why, they're that sensitive. Because he says, because you ask them what kind of ball they play with, and they say, "Well, ping pong ball." So, but it was a great event. But we had a volleyball tournament. They had a pickleball tournament at another rec center, and then we had the hot dog giveaway. It was just a great way that our Parks and Rec team in particular approached gathering the community. So again, thank you for that. And the two big celebrations we had here, evidently the laser show looks a lot better if you're underneath the lasers, so had to come down into the park to see that. But that was a great idea, and 4th of July was a big success as it always is. So kudos again to our entire team for what they did on the 4th of July. With that, we will adjourn the work session of July 13th, 2026.